Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Game Informer Show. I'm your host, Ben Hanson, joined by Andrew Reiner,
Air horn!
Ben Reeves, Dan Tack,
Whoa.
and Kyle Hilliard.
Wilhelm screamed.
That's right. This is exciting, you guys, because we are now in January, but we're recording this a couple weeks in the past. And the reason we're doing that is because we don't know what anybody chose as their top 10 favorite games from 2016. I'm sure you've seen a million lists from around the industry. This is Game Informer's time to shine. I hope you saw on Tuesday or earlier this week, we revealed our new cover story, which is the top 50 games of 2016. Turns out there's a lot of debate going into that and who we crowned the victor. Reiner, who was it?
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
It was a bold choice.
It came out of nowhere.
Sometimes we're just trying to get attention here at Game Informer.
It was kind of a no-brainer. Like, it hit early in the year, and it was Overwatch.
It really... There was no one who even put up a fight.
No, this one was seriously slam dunk city.
It was crazy. Is this the easiest
Starring
year
Michael
of all
Jordan.
time?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Really? More than last
I've done, 20 of these?
Yeah.
I think we've done 22 of them. And usually there's a fight or there's a couple games in contention, but pretty much everybody in the office around the horn was, I love Overwatch.
I think we kind of smelled
What the Rock was cooking.
Yeah. it seemed like even those of us who were not Overwatch fans, like, we knew that everybody else was Overwatch. And so it's like, why bother fighting?
You know, like,
It's
Are you speaking personally, Reeves?
yes.
It's hard to make that argument for sure.
Yeah, but we also didn't rank, but listed the other 49 games that were absolutely fantastic this year, and there's always those ones on the bubbles. But then beyond that, and also ranking top 10 characters and dorks, all sorts of really fun lists, which are in the new issue of Game Informers. You can check out now on your iPhone, by the way, or smartphones in general. That's exciting.
Whoa.
But in that same issue, every Game Informer editor also ranked their personal top 10 lists, which I think is always a fun spread
I love
to
it.
turn to. Isn't it great?
it looks like a phone book, but it's very interesting.
All of production hates laying it out because it does just look like walls of text, but there's no way around it. But it is a fun page to study and figure
these
out
are the
who's
lists that
anomaly.
matter, really.
I actually do think this list is extremely pertinent for readers because when they go through and they're like, I agree with this reviewer, because that's what I do. I tend to sync up with the reviewer, not an outlet personally. And so I'm like, I know what they like, so I like that stuff. And then it's a really good way to get that personal view.
And when you, the viewer or listener of the show, goes and looks at JV's list, that's not a mistake. Those aren't just random games thrown in there. He actually likes those games.
I was shocked. I still love the first year I was here. I listed that game VVV on my list because I really love that little indie platformer game. And then Matt Cotto pulled me aside in the vault and he's like, "Hey man, I know you're new here. Did you mean to type out Civ 5 here?" He thought it was a typo for Civ 5. It's like, no, it's an indie game. It's cool.
You're just like yelling, Civ 5!
Oh, that is good.
And then Kato's like, never talk to me again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cross you off the friendship list.
That's good.
But so with this episode, we're going to talk about the 5 of our top 10 lists, if that makes sense. So we're going to go around the horn. It's a little bit like E3's episodes, what we're most excited about. And again, we're recording this in the past, so I have no idea what Reiner's number 7 is, what his number 1 is, heck, what Dan Tack's number 3 is. There's so many great mysteries out there.
And we're going 10 to 1.
10 to 1,
Okay.
baby. All right. God, this was tough. I did this list this morning. I had 20 to pull from.
Uh-huh.
And then I started going through it, and there's so many brutal cuts you have to make along the way.
That's right.
So maybe we can mention what didn't make the cut along the way at some point. But
Sure.
Reiner, please, kick it off. Number 10.
Number 10, Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
That old one.
No, this is a curveball. The Turing Test from
Interesting.
Bulkhead Interactive and Square Enix. It is a first-person puzzle experience
Why do you say experience? What does that mean?
because it's narratively driven. You are going through puzzle chambers just like Portal. An evil AI entity is guiding you through it. You've all played Portal. You know what I'm talking about. Very similar in that regard, but the story it tells is very different. And it kind of blew me away. Like, it's like heavy science fiction, and it made me think. That game actually made me think, and I loved the puzzles, how each one's designed in a way. The Turing test, if you look it up, Alan Turing did these tests where gauging the intelligence of AI, you can't think like AI. You got to completely like a human. So that'd be like, what would a computer not do? A computer wouldn't put a box under a door to reveal a sight line, right? Like a computer would not think that way.
Okay.
So every puzzle is solved that way, in thinking more human than machine,
So it's
mechanical.
overall game where every puzzle is a literal Turing test.
Yeah, basically.
What a weird thing.
And some of them are very gamey, but by the end of the game, there's a choice you make at the end, and I was just like, and their narrative is very good, but it's just like, wow, they really nailed this.
So in terms of doing a version of Portal that's unique and kind of treads new ground, it's really beloved. I feel like, what was it, a couple years ago, Reeves, you reviewed it. What is the name of that game?
Talos Principle.
Yes, Talos Principle.
That's the same guys, I think, right?
Is it really?
Yeah, I think that's
It's the same
Bulkhead.
guys, really?
I
Oh,
believe so.
interesting.
I don't think so.
Okay, but Reeves,
Well,
you
let me
were-
look it up. Let me look it up.
We're getting into it.
It is really good, and I did play Turing Test earlier this year because you were raving about it, and I like Turing Test. It's not funny like Portal is,
No,
and
it's very, like I said, serious sci-fi.
the
Yeah.
basic Portal mechanic of Portal is like really cool in itself, and it doesn't quite have that like cool mechanic because you're kind of just moving boxes around. But I thought the puzzles themselves were really good. If you're asking me to compare it to Talos Principle,
That's
though,
exactly
I
what I'm
think
doing.
I would go with Talos.
That was Crow Team, by the way.
there it is. Okay, the distinction.
Yeah, I would say play Talos Principle.
But Turing test for people who want something more in that vein.
But
Yeah.
Turing Test is, if you've already played both of those other games, then definitely Turing Test was a really solid puzzle game.
A little bit of an underdog, Reiner.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I did it for Science Fiction Weekly. Like, I look at all the new releases, and it's like, I want to keep playing this. And then eventually I went to Joe, and I was like, I'm going to review this. This is a very good game. We got to let people know. And it made my top 10 list.
Joe's like,
Kinda
how
crazy.
dare you tell me what to do?
I'm
the
Joe
reviews
Juba,
editor.
damn it. All right, solid. Ben Reeves, number 10.
Number 10, Mafia 3, which I feel like is another sort of underdog, or I know we've made this comparison before. It reminded me of Assassin's Creed, the first one, and that it's a unique open world experience with some really cool moments, and the bulk of the experience is somewhat repetitive.
Yeah.
I like the things you're doing in the middle, but it is definitely repetitive, and then it has some high highs. Like, I think storytelling wise, it does some really cool things, and I really like the main character, and I really like the setting.
Does it pay off more? Because, Reiner, I remember when you're on the podcast, you said, you gave it a 6.75, but you would recommend it to people. But you also said the story stuff and interesting story stuff is very front-loaded. But is there anything later on, Reeves, that you loved? That
I think
compares to
there's
the
some cool
beginning?
story stuff sprinkled throughout the whole thing. I think it is somewhat front-loaded in that first 2 hours, you're like, holy crap, this is going to be an amazing game. And then it kind of transitions into the open world experience that's very repetitive.
That's what brings it down, in my opinion.
But even
Yeah.
throughout that, like, there are definitely some moments of gold where you're like, oh, this is cool. And I think the end, if you like those first 2 hours and the repetitiveness doesn't bother you,
Yeah.
I would totally think it's a game worth playing.
Wow, there we go. This is a good number 10 slot.
Yeah, I disagree with that pick at number 10.
Oh, I disagree with Talos Principle now.
What number is Mafia 3 for you, Reiner? If you kept going down your list, assume it's not.
I just scroll
above
here.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number
Hold on.
Okay.
We're still going.
480.
400.
What do you mean? It's like
I don't know.
11.
I don't know where I'd put it, but I mean, I gave it a 6 something, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's down there.
How about just on a larger picture here? How do you guys keep track of what goes on your list? How does the list process go for you guys? Do you keep track of every game you play?
throughout the year.
Yeah.
I kind
do.
of mostly
too.
just looked at our top 50 list and trimmed out, and then made sure that, like, wait, are there games missing? Which Mafia 3 was missing
Yeah.
from that list, and added that to my list.
I know you and I, Hanson, are extensive note takers. So
Yeah.
everything I do, I'm taking notes. I have my games I completed at the end of the year list that hits January 1st, by the way, for people that well, it's out there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there. I do that every year, and then I kind of talk about the games I fell off of or I missed. So I kind of reveal all of my cards right there.
And so you have a games that you've completed list. Do you have games that you started list?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't reveal that because it's like, it's everything.
I play.
I play everything.
Yeah. Dan Tack, how does the list go for you?
Oh, I just know.
Yeah.
You feel it in your bones.
Within a couple minutes of picking up a game, it's like, oh, this has something magical, and this is going on my personal list.
In a
What is
recent
this?
episode, we learned that Dan does not believe in lists.
Right.
That's right. I don't.
You don't worry about something slipping through the cracks and be like, oh my God, I forgot in February how addicted to this game I was. That
How,
type
how
of
could I
thing?
possibly forget? If it was that good, I wouldn't forget.
Okay. You're just trusting your gut, trusting intuition.
That's right.
Kyle, what's your strategy?
I write it down throughout the year.
Super smart.
Yeah,
God, you're so
I'm a smart
and
guy.
pretty.
I believe I have faith in lists.
Dan Tack, number
Yes.
10.
Number 10 for me is it's on the biggest platform in the world. It's a little game called Clash Royale.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's on my list.
Number 10.
That's lower than I expected from you, Dan.
I didn't want to put it any higher because I have serious problems because I shouldn't like this game because it's a disgusting pay to win, everything that is wrong with mobile gaming, right? but at the same time, it's actually a great game.
Yeah.
So they nail those fundamentals. The game's extremely fun. It has great mechanics. They successfully integrate many different game types into one really addictive, cool game.
I play like 10 to 15 matches a day, and I haven't stopped since launch.
Oh my
I
God.
was playing it, and then we were preparing for our South Park cover trip, and we watched the freemium episode. Freemium isn't free, I think it's called. And as I was watching that episode, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to delete Clash Royale. off my
Really?
phone.
Just
Yeah,
immediately?
that was done.
Wow.
I mean, I played it a good bit, and I had a decent time, but it
It's-
didn't click for me like it has for you guys.
Extremely compelling blend of game types. It's just like it's really great.
And matches are over in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's perfect for handheld gaming.
And as far as like Pokemon Go really swept through the office for a while, I feel like it's had its ups and downs. Clash Royale has been remarkably consistent since it came out. Like people are still talking about this thing. It's always bubbling under
And
the
even
surface.
only now are they really starting to get their content strategy right. Like they've had a year to go over that stuff, and now they're actually putting out cool new game modes and new ways to interact with your clan, keeping you interacting with your community.
And it's a fast-paced RTS with cards.
Yeah.
That's basically the idea. So don't think of it as a pure what's the more popular original game?
Oh, Clash of Clans?
Thank
it's nothing
you.
like that.
Yeah, okay.
Except
I think that would
it's
turn a lot of people off.
Same IP, obviously, same characters, but
Yeah.
completely different game.
I heard that King might be one of the greatest characters of the year.
Yeah, I'm
He's
glad
amazing.
we knocked him off that list.
We talked about it. It's because
Oh,
the
man.
reactions he was able to elicit from people while playing. It's like, is he
Absolutely.
one of the most important characters of the year?
I've almost thrown my phone when I saw him pop up. The other guy taunting me, just like, "Oh, I'm gonna murder you."
He's just 4
But I mean-
emojis, though.
Yeah,
He's not a character.
just spamming emojis to annoy people in a game that you can't talk to them is not new, and people have been doing that for Hearthstone for like years now.
That's a lie. It's all new.
Reiner, we can talk about our top 50 meetings now. Completely, we've pulled the curtain back on this thing. What was the most memorable moment to you about the entire meeting process?
Wow.
Well, I stand up at the dry erase board
Right.
and I write everything down, and I kind of lose myself in the board at times when the arguments begin and it gets kind of heated. And I go off to this distant place, a galaxy far, far away. No, there's
And my most memorable was
this
that time we
year.
argued
The
about that one
thing,
game.
the thing about this year's was there wasn't any really heated moments like years past.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty civil. There were some games at the end when we got to the end of the list where there's 3 spots left. I think 2 to 3 spots.
Yeah.
Where people started to get a little salty, like, and nobody liked that one except Kyle.
Yeah. And when we had the meetings, Last Guardian, Dead Rising 4 was coming in hot, so not many people had played it at that point.
Right.
I think, could we reveal? Yeah, it's out there. The whole thing. No Man's Sky, I think, was the most interesting part of our meeting, where it was like very divided, where half of our crew was firmly against it, and then the other half really liked that game and they wanted it on the list. And it turns out that half was enough of a vote to get it on that list.
Dan Tack was actually clawing at the
I
window,
am-
trying to jump out the window.
I am
building.
so upset that we included that on the list of games. It is not deserving of the spot in any way, and it should have made our best disappointments list. And I'm very upset about that.
It made biggest news for the
I think it made
reaction when the
headlines
game
or
came
something,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, headlines,
but that's still
certainly.
giving it a pass. It's not addressing the game itself.
And it's that tough thing because 50% of the audience or the community within the office here is like, I had a
know.
great time with that game. It was overhyped. I understand that, but when it actually came out, I sat down with it, played it for a long time, was enchanted.
I'm not trying to say you didn't have those experiences.
Right.
I'm sure people do really like the game. I'm saying that my personal experience from it was just so distasteful that I'm never going to be like, whoa, we can't put that on there. And this is the only time I think I've ever said that. Like normally it's like, I can see why people like this, I can get that. I'm not going to fight it. But this time I had to like dig in my heels, and I'm upset that we did not win that battle.
Kyle, you shook your head too, and we're talking about there being no heated battles. Which one were you?
Well, yeah,
thinking
No
of?
Man's Sky, certainly. I'm actually kind of on Dan's team. I wasn't really super jazzed about it being on it. But the one that I was going to bring up was when we were getting into moments talking about Stardew Valley. And it was just this weird thing.
Man. I
where
drifted off to like Tauntauns
Yeah.
at that point.
Hanson
mad.
and Joe were trying to pick a best moment from Stardew Valley because we wanted to highlight this interesting game. And like everyone on staff was just like, we couldn't help but laugh because it was like Joe really wanted something to do with blueberries.
Here's how
Hanson
it went.
wanted to build a community
Here's how
center.
it went. I'll tell you why it was
something.
so frustrating. Is because we got to like, all right, top 10 moments. What do we got? And Andy, as a placeholder in this Google Doc, had like, I don't know, something about picking crops in Stardew Valley, just as like a jokey placeholder. Like, you guys talked about that game so much, it must be somewhere on this list, right? And so then Joe was like, yeah, and I think it should be your first big blueberry harvest when you make a boatload of money and you're swimming in cash for the first time in that game and it feels great.
And everybody started laughing.
And everybody lost it. And it's that kind of like, not just a snicker, but everybody had a dozen jokes to make about the concept of a farming game. And I was trying to get Joe's attention to say, Joe, I think finishing off the community center is a better singular moment, getting the community to rally around. Everybody's happy. It's great. They punch the Joja Mart guy right in the face. It's like a good triumphant moment in that game. And it's effectively the end of the game. But as Joe and I were like lightly trying to argue between those two moments, the rest of the room would not shut up making these jokes to the point that Joe was just like, all right, F it. All right, you guys clearly, whatever. And he got super frustrated, which then made me frustrated. Like, Joe, why are you giving up? Like, this should be on here. Don't let these jokes dissuade you.
To the point where Stardew Valley was the first game we started talking about in moments.
And then it didn't
And
come
then it
around
got
again
slid
till the
down
end.
until the last play. When we had our last slot for moments, we finally got Stardew
It did
Valley
make
in
it,
there.
which
it
I
did.
wanted
Then
to make it
eventually
the
made
whole
it.
time, but
Drift away, Reiner.
it's
it was
hard.
so
We're going back
frustrating.
there.
It's hard
Yeah,
not to
we're
laugh
back.
about, like, we're like, oh, remember that insane, crazy moment in this game, and then on the other side, it's like, remember when you built a community center or planted blueberries? Like, I'm glad it's on the list. I wanted to
It
see
was
it
so
on the list,
ridiculous
but it
because I was on
strange
Hanson's side,
conversation.
Yeah.
but
I
nobody
totally
was
was
listening
too,
at that
yeah.
point, and you're just like, well, we can't talk about this now.
Once those battles get going, man, they get derailed.
But
I did
years
not leave.
passed. Holy hell!
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't
it was-
leave the meeting feeling terrible,
Oh,
which I
boy.
have many, many times before. So
Yeah,
it's
like
a
you go into
victory.
that meeting, you're like excited, like I'm gonna
Yep.
recommend Turing tests, but then in the back of your mind, you're like, oh no, this could go really poorly. Like this could get ugly, like people yelling. And,
Like when Reeves wanted Color Splash on the list. It's just
That's right.
Yeah, and we were not about to let that happen.
Go back and listen to that. What are you talking about, Dan? You weren't involved in that conversation.
Not at all.
Oh, God,
That
it's
was
starting
Ben
again.
Hanson.
Go to your place, Ryan. Go to your
Anyway.
place.
Yeah, the Hanson and I had very
Sarlacc
different feelings
pit.
on that, and we have a whole podcast on that. You can go.
We really do. It's good stuff.
you
All right,
wang.
Kyle Hilliard, number 10.
So at the beginning of the podcast, we were talking about Reeves was talking about, like, I guess I shouldn't even go into this. I'll just so my number 10 is Overwatch, which is
Holy hell!
which is,
All
right.
Yeah, I
You
had
blew it.
Hey, Dad.
I had a good time with Overwatch. I'm still playing it periodically every
Prove
now
it.
and then.
I've never seen you online.
Yeah. But it the reason it's low on my list, it all comes down to just purely I just don't really love multiplayer games in general. I really like single player experiences.
And you know what? I've heard a lot of talking about Overwatch. It's on my list as well.
What?
I've heard people that hate FPSs and hate multiplayer games.
Yep.
They still come out for Overwatch.
Absolutely.
And to be, I mean, it's on my top 10. Like that's still high overall, but low in terms of like, you know, it appears low because it's low on my list. But I had a great time with Overwatch. It's a great game, but it's just not. It's far from my favorite of the year.
I think everybody else put it very highly on their list.
Yeah. What character
Absolutely.
is the equivalent of the van in Overwatch?
Oh, the Winston.
Yep.
Yeah, there you
100%.
go.
Winston
That's
is
who you
an
played as,
old
isn't it?
rusty van.
I mean, he's the
Back
mascot. That's
alley.
all I've played as. Did I do something wrong?
I think I've played one game as him total.
Yeah.
Really?
I dislike him a lot.
I play the random. Like my favorite is just the random where you get a new character.
Oh, that's why you hate. I mean,
Well,
But
that
that's what
mode
I
is like my least favorite.
I have a lot of fun doing that.
It's
That's
like, what am I
that's
going
the
to
most
do?
fun I
Offense,
have.
Symmetra? All right, this is going to be fun. let me just run out and die.
But I know it's been said 1,000 times, but it's still absolutely amazing that Blizzard can release a brand new IP in 2016 after so long in a new genre for them and knock it out of the park so hard. I don't know what the analogy is. Like Tiger Woods in his prime still getting out there and ripping it. Like just the best of the
Ripping
best
it?
developers.
Golf terminology.
Yeah,
Ripping
just
it.
gripping it and ripping it. But you know, just one of the
Steven
best developers.
Spielberg? I don't know.
Maybe if Kingdom
If
of the Crystal.
BFG had been better,
If like Crystal
If BFG
Skull
was
was,
his best movie.
like
Wait,
mind-blowingly good, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like if
okay,
Crystal Skull
yeah.
was like as good as Raiders,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
alright,
That
yes.
is what Overwatch is to me. Like this old timer getting up there, like let's see what we can do in this new space.
oh, what's his
And
name?
then
The Mad
every
Max
other
guy.
shooter just cowering in the corner over
Yeah.
the might of
Is it-
Overwatch's
is it-
brilliance.
Is it like Metallica's latest album? Maybe.
What were the reviews
I,
like?
don't
I
know.
actually
don't
like
really
I like
talk
his
about it.
proposed. Like if Crystal Skull would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Just Mad
There's
Max.
not much of an
Yeah.
equivalent. Yeah.
I mean, when you first started playing that game, it's just a series of, oh, that's a really smart design choice. Oh, that's really smart. Oh, that's really smart. And still, like 7 months after you started playing it, it's still, all right, that was really smart.
You're
Blizzard.
still probably finding things and still having the amazing experiences that like they're so incredible the first time.
Well,
Like, just-
Kyle's not. He's not really
How
playing.
do you?
If I was not enjoying Overwatch, it wouldn't be on my list at all. I like Overwatch.
You don't have to-
Guys,
you don't-
I like
Hey,
Overwatch.
you don't have to be
Settle
guilted
down,
into
Kyle.
putting on your
No,
list,
no,
man.
That
No,
voice is
yeah.
brutal. And I remember you were worried about like, there maybe should be more content. I remember when you
I
reviewed the
wasn't worried
game.
about that.
No, I remember when you reviewed the game. Like, I know it's weird to just have multiplayer focused. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a decent amount of maps, but not an overwhelming amount, and still it can be that good. And I think time has really proven your review correct, if such a thing exists, and
Right.
that people are still playing it. No one's sick of the maps, really. There's a couple here that are frustrating, but it's just so all hard edges have been smoothed off. It's just been pure fun for almost an entire year already now.
It's like I said back then, that the map variety didn't matter because you're creating a new game experience every time with the characters interacting with each other and different players interacting. It's completely not comparable to just saying, oh, it only has X maps and X modes. It's completely different than being able to lump it into that box.
And the art and having such clearly defined personalities. Masterclass.
Absolutely.
Just masterclass.
Just from the silhouette to the sound.
Wow.
Each character,
very poetic.
Each character has identified. It's just insane at a level that I have never seen before.
Also, just the idea of a game launching. God, I forget how many characters were at launch. 19, something like that. Anyways, but
18 or 19.
it was not that long before everybody learned every character's name because those personalities are so strong. It's what other game can launch that way, and immediately everyone's like, well, it's not even like a memorization game. It's just, of course, Zenyatta. I mean, it's Zenyatta. It's been there forever. It's just a new archetype, or harnessing the power of an existing archetype, I guess, is a better way to phrase it.
So it's on my list. It's on Dan Tack's. Kyle's. Is it on yours, Ben?
No. I don't even know who's in
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, it's on mine for sure.
Okay.
All right. My number 10, real quick and dirty. I appreciate new experiences. If I have a game that is fun, and even if it's not the biggest, grandest thing, but I say, I've never done this in a game, I've never felt this way in a game, that's why my number 10 is Super Hot.
Super hot.
Thank you. Everybody has to take it away. Yep. First person shooter, slow motion, time mechanic.
Puzzle-ish.
It feels more puzzle-ish. It's a puzzly Max Payne,
Yeah.
if you really want to think about it in a twisted way. But the story gets wacky. I know, Reeves, you were not overly in love with the overall package.
I like the presentation.
What did I give it?
I think you gave it like a 7.5.
Ooh,
That's not terrible.
That's wrong.
Not
Above
terrible.
average.
Not terrible.
Tepid.
Yeah, but as far as
Super tepid.
as far as being in the situations and just drilling down, like, okay, this time I'm going to pick up this object over here, chuck it at the bad guy. Then I know there's a guy coming from the right, shoot him, break this guy's bat, then grab his gun, shoot with 2 shots this way. Just trying to go through the situations and doing it again and again and again and replaying it different ways. And it's always packed full of variety. It's always interesting to me. I have not had an experience like that before.
It's cool how like those shootouts were super slow and yet they felt super intense.
Yeah.
Like more intense than like a Call of Duty shootout in some
Absolutely.
cases. Like it was sort of puzzly, but not really. It's very action packed and you're like thinking the whole time.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed a lot of those packages. A lot of that game. There's elements that I didn't love, but
Absolutely.
Okay,
Reiner.
I heard the
Real
VR
quick.
experience is even better,
Yeah.
according to JV. If you trust him.
I got to check that out. Yeah.
We love JV.
We did.
Number 9.
Yeah.
This one I think is gonna bring a roar from this group here.
Oh boy.
Pokemon Go.
A roar.
Bear
I don't
horn!
think so.
I love it.
Meow, meow, meow.
All right. Why number 9?
Because it started super, super strong where I was going out into the woods with Kyle Hilliard there and Brian Shea out in the wilderness having a good time. But did we play it too much? I don't know, but we ran out of Pokemon to catch. It got to a point where we were going to nests. That was super fun, tracking them down in Minnesota, going to California, getting all their critters. But they just ran out of content. So
Even with the holiday stuff?
The holiday
It's
stuff is
so
don't get me
lame.
started.
Pikachu with a hat?
And
Yeah, don't get me started.
the game is also on my list because it provided what I can only say is a unique gaming experience, which involved, interaction with real people in the real world. So it wasn't like, on your headset, courting in a raid or anything like that, or standard multiplayer experiences, or even couch.
Right.
It was literally, going in for a burger deal because it was a Pokestop and meeting a ton of other people there that were playing the game.
Yeah.
I had a ton of unique experiences and met a lot of really cool people through the game.
And it's easy
That's
to
way
SL over
different.
the game for being like, oh, trading isn't in there.
Mechanically,
Yeah, the battles suck, all this stuff. And that's totally fair. I think it would have been a much more magical experience if it had all that. But you have to factor in this game has changed society.
It
in
changed
a
my
really
life.
bizarre
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Changed Kyle's life for a
Yeah.
while.
Oh
there.
my
And
God. It was
I
huge
wouldn't
for me,
even say
yeah.
for a while. Like it is still a consistent every day. My
me
wife
too.
and I are
Yeah.
playing it. Like that, we played it together so much it became just the staple in my house. Like it was like the most played game of the year, and it brought my wife an eye closer to
Oh
you.
my God, that's so
Aw,
sweet. But it's
man.
also,
Amazing.
Cool.
I mean, it's also that I'm so attached to the original 151 Pokemon. So to have the entire world give an S about catching a Grimer or something,
Yeah.
it's just so surreal to be out in the streets and
Yeah.
people shouting out the names of these friends I had from 20 years ago, you
Yeah.
know, in my
I just-
dark basement.
Remember that week it launched, like 2 days after it launched, we were in Seattle visiting Bungie for our cover story.
Yeah.
And just going to a local park, it's like we were in our hotel and Hanson was like, we got to go. We got to go to this park and check it out. And so we went hunting Pokemon and there were hundreds, I'm not even joking, hundreds of people there.
Running across
Just
the
running
big
across.
park at night.
Somebody would yell "Squirtle" from the other side of the park, and just a horde of people
It's
running.
amazing.
That's
right?
one of my favorite like gaming moments of the year. Like, it's
Also,
really
being in the
cool.
halls of Bungie and so many other game developers that I visited this year, everyone was still playing it. People within Bungie would be yelling Squirtle from one side of the studio, and all the Bungie developers would leave development of Destiny 2 to go check out Squirtle.
But
Yeah.
lately, it's just become Pidgey, Evolve.
I've hit
Just
a little bit of a
leveling
wall,
up.
but
Yeah.
So that thrill of the hunt's gone, and then also kind of the unfulfilled promises of like trading's going to be in the game. It's in the launch trailer,
So many things are, yeah.
and
many
then
things in that
so
trailer.
I'm squatting on these Pokemon literally right now.
Yeah.
But
Gross.
I have them in my game, and it's like, well, now there's new Pokemon coming in. I'm going to run out of space. Do I got to buy more storage, or are you going to finally put trading in so I can get rid of these guys?
Yeah,
So yeah, a little frustrated with it.
absolutely. Reeves, number 9.
Number 9, The Witcher 3, Blood and Wine.
Interesting. We consider this a standalone?
we did
it-
it for the top 50, right?
Yeah,
So-
I think didn't it go on?
Oh,
the top
yeah.
50?
Yeah,
I can't
it is.
remember.
Yeah.
It's
Full on expansion. It's
Witcher
like
3.
30 hours, right?
Yeah, I probably spent at least 30 hours on it. It's more Witcher, which is definitely a good thing. I think Witcher 3 was my game of the year last year, and this is like new area, and it's a substantial area. Like there's enough meat in this game for like any other game to be a standalone game.
Really?
Does that make sense?
I do get what you're saying, yeah.
And this is an expansion to like one
Mhm.
of the best games of
They
last
really
year.
turned it around quick. My God.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, because there was another like similar expansion that came out last year as well. So
Right.
this is like the second big expansion for Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And like story wise, like they didn't I don't know, I don't feel like it was the B team working on it. I feel like story wise, gameplay wise, everything about it was as top notch as the original Witcher
Awesome.
3 was.
Totally with you. Dan Tack, number 9.
This might be on a couple other people's lists. This is, number 9 is Uncharted 4.
Whoa, it's on my list.
Dan, you're a PC guy. What are you doing
I know.
stepping into these Uncharted
I'm so
waters?
tired of having this conversation, but here we'll have it
He's
again.
never had this conversation before.
Remember,
No one talks to Dan.
in 2013, my game of the year was Tomb Raider, the reboot. I absolutely love that game. I'm a huge fan of treasure hunting, Indiana Jones kind of style experiences, and this one certainly did not disappoint in that regard. I really liked the ending as well. The little touching addition.
Oh, he has a heart.
I know, right?
Everyone, Dan Tech has
Don't
a
tell
heart.
anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Uncharted is actually not on my list.
Wow.
Wow.
I had a great time with it.
You
but-
played it, right?
Yeah, I played it and finished it, but the for me the value of Naughty Dog games is just how good they are at capturing performance.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite part of those games, watching the performance, and everything else kind of ended up being like, well, I guess I need to get through this sequence
Yeah.
to watch a cutscene.
I get that.
I think
But
it's my favorite Uncharted.
I played
too.
through to the end and really had a good time with it. But
Story wise, it was still as entertaining. Uncharted's always had an entertaining story, but this one had a little bit more heart and like genuine, like you
Yeah, I
cared
agree.
about the characters
Yeah.
a little bit
think-
more.
Chapter 4 is a
2,
masterpiece.
Uncharted 2 was the one where it was like, holy crap, what is happening in this game?
Right.
Everything's exploding, and they kind of played those tricks again in 4, but the story really sold
Right.
it for me.
Is chapter 4 the one where you're in the house?
Yep.
Yeah, that one's really good.
It's the one where he starts and he's underwater and you think it's this crazy expedition. Then it turns out he's just on the salvage team. I think it's so smart. And then just wandering around his house and the nice conversations with Elena. I think that chapter is so different compared to the rest of the industry. And really
that was
fantastic.
Uncharted 4 is the one game where I was like, if we were going to fight for a game for number 1,
Yeah.
I would have fought for that over Overwatch. I know Overwatch isn't even on my list, so maybe that doesn't mean much, but like I think that game was
It stood the best shot of toppling
easily
Overwatch.
yeah, one of the best games of the year.
Yeah. Great choice. Kyle.
Final Fantasy 15 for number 9,
Wow.
which is weird
Wow.
because I'm not a Final Fantasy fan.
What?
Yeah. Okay, calm down. Since its announcement, I've been sort of enamored with the idea of like a JRPG road trip, and like I think that they did that pretty well, and I think it's interesting, and I'm enjoying the combat a lot. Like I really like the fighting system, and it's just clicking for me. Even as someone who doesn't like Final Fantasy, I really like that game a lot.
The funky road trip.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird game with some weird flaws, and I look at things and I'm confused. But I'm totally enamored, and I want to keep playing. I will admit I haven't finished it, but I played a lot of it, and I see myself getting to the end, which is a big deal for like a big Japanese RPG.
I was really nervous about that game before it came out, just based on some early previews and that Conan O'Brien video, and so I'm glad people are really liking it.
Yeah,
I need to play more.
I need to play more. I don't get it. I'm not enjoying it. Maybe after the Christmas break, I will play a lot. I understand this is a weird time capsule podcast, but right now, I would say I'm not enjoying that game.
Time capsule.
Time capsule, everybody. So maybe I'll love it by the time this thing actually launches. Reiner, is that on your list?
No.
Was it close?
Yeah, I would say it's in the top 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan
I
Tack,
considered it.
Yeah, top 10 potential pieces of toilet paper for you this year?
It
Is
didn't
that
have
where
a
you
chance
put
of making
15?
my list.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the franchise.
Didn't even have a
almost
chance.
like the reverse of you. Kind of.
Interesting. Number 9 for me. It's almost a given at this point. Jackbox Party Pack 3.
Yeah.
I know it's a third big
come
bundle of all
on.
these party games, but I
Yeah.
cannot deny a game that every time I play it with a group of friends, we laugh for hours with a variety of people, different tastes in games, different interest level, and even the concept of playing a game and playing TKO or Quiplash 2. Always a great time. I can't say no to a great communal experience like that.
You know, I'm not going to disagree. Those games are great, but it just seems weird to pick it year after year. Like,
Right.
Because
Well, he loves them.
there's going to
It's
be
his
a
personal top 10.
Party
They
Pack
are
4 is
different.
going to make it next
Well,
year,
they said
right?
they didn't know if they were making that in
All
our
right.
test
Blow
chamber,
it. I
but
don't know.
The one
Yeah.
thing we should point out about those games is you only need like one controller and then just everybody uses their phones. I know a
Right.
lot of people
It's
are
brilliant.
intimidated by party games because it's like, I need four controllers. And,
yeah, exactly.
But you don't. You
Well,
just need
beyond that, you also don't need to download an app. It's just right through the browser.
Yeah.
It's really smart tech.
It's awesome.
It's the best party game you can buy.
It is a lot of fun.
It's a good pick.
Thank you. Reiner, number 8.
You ready for a curveball?
Heck yeah.
Dan Tack, you ready?
A curveball. Oh, God.
You've been making a lot of great GIF faces during this. If you people out there watching could send those to
Hey,
me.
you know I always do. That's every cast. But
Hey,
That's
baby.
just for the fans.
You ready?
This
I'm going to
is
look you
I'm
in the
not ready
eyes.
for
I do
this.
this.
Okay.
Darkest Dungeon.
What?
am I supposed to be
That was a pretty
surprised?
good face.
It's on my list.
No, you kind of you tried to subdue the surprise face, but your eyes still did it.
I did not know that you
why would I
played
be
that.
surprised?
Yeah,
It's
I
a great
love
game.
that freaking game. And it goes all the way back, 2014 when you showed it to me, or 2015 when you showed it to me
It
in
was
a test chamber?
Probably 14.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
mean,
while
and I was
ago.
back then, I was like, this is really cool. And I was waiting for it to hit console. It
Mhm.
did. Awesome game. Seriously, like one of the coolest, we talked about unique experiences in this
Mhm.
year. That's one of them.
Brutal
Hands
turn-based
down.
RPG.
Yeah, and just narratively, everything about it, art style, love it.
Brutal, but a lot of fun. Like if you like strategy games, like it's like
Crazy
all
good.
4 of your characters are laid out, and like depending on the position they're in, they can do different attacks, and they have this insanity meter where if their insanity dips below a certain point, they like just lose it, and they might not attack when you tell them to, or they might do their
Yeah.
own thing, or they might go heroic and then become super buffed. Like it's a lot of fun.
Do you think the release schedule and having the early access version hurt the enthusiasm for that game?
I
It's
do.
It's
It went
a lot
for
of
a long time.
yeah.
right?
There were multiple beats of everyone losing their mind around this game, and I feel like that hurts it in some ways.
I would disagree in this case because, I mean, they made changes during the course of that early development that people eventually were happy with because they had a chance to get that community feedback saying, whoa, I really hate this mechanic. This game is terrible now. And then they're like, well, you know what? You don't have to play with it.
Sure.
And then
Wasn't there something too, like the Darkest Dungeon wasn't added until late?
Correct. That's right.
Like
The
that's the
actual-
whole game.
that
Like,
is
name
not
of
the
game.
whole game. That is probably a
But
part
no,
of
the
game
name of
that-
the game, and it wasn't even there at when it was first hitting.
Yes.
There were new character classes and stuff. They
Yeah,
added,
yeah,
like,
they added-
new, like
And
new
they're still, I mean,
functions.
they've added stuff long after release. Like they have town events and all kinds of other
Yeah.
really cool stuff that you should go back and check out if you played it a little bit and were like,
Yeah.
there's lots more stuff now.
Reeves.
Did it make your list? By the way, we should check this.
No.
Dan Tack, yes.
Absolutely on my
Okay,
list.
There we go. Reeves, where you at?
Number
Number
8. You guys ready for this?
I
You
am.
ready for this, Rainer?
Mhm.
Darkest Dungeon. I'm not even joking.
Oh, yeah,
that's awesome.
awesome. High five.
Convenient.
Dantech.
Civilization 6.
Oh, what a great choice.
An 8 spot. I know some people might think, Dantac PC guy got to be higher, but I think it's a really
I've
good
seen
game.
the bumper stickers.
It does enough different to make me interested in playing it a lot, and I did play it a lot. But at the same time, I really think they need to take a chance and go completely outside of the established framework at this point. And I know they might be reticent to do that after Beyond Earth was pretty divisive.
Right.
But hey, we're back to form, and it's an excellent game, and I like it.
There we go.
That's
Kyle,
awesome.
number 8.
Dark Souls 3.
Oh, that came out this year.
It's on
didn't
my
it?
list.
Yeah.
Wow, I
It
forgot about
turns
that.
out
No
that
way
when,
it's on mine.
when you play through that game with Dan Tack literally next to you, telling you exactly what to do, and then you go home and play it again, that is a really fun game.
So wait, you played it twice? You played it in Game Informer
Yeah.
video
Yeah,
content?
I did
We
too.
played it. We
Yeah.
did Chronicles, so we played it all the way through, and then I also played at home on my own save and beat it again.
Wow.
I've never completed a Dark Souls game on my own. They've always been played with other people. I played
Right.
with one of my good friends through
Yeah.
the Dark Souls
Oh,
series,
that's cool.
so we trade off deaths. So
It's
I've never finished one on my own, but man, I love those games.
They are too spooky.
I played.
agree,
I played in B2, but I think the 3 is the one I've had the most fun with. Just
Wow.
for that reason, because I kind of had a lot more knowledge going in, and I had a good time with it.
Yeah, so everyone call up Dan Tack. It'll be a good time.
Perfect.
Number 8 for me, Uncharted 4.
All right.
Hey,
all right.
That's a game.
Hey, cool.
Reiner.
All right, here's a new one.
Yeah.
Number 7, Inside.
Oh.
Ooh, how spooky. What a solid game.
It is a good game.
Side-scrolling platformer with a little bit of puzzle solution to it. But you're just running from left to right through the whole game, and then there's some cool things that go on. They do a nice job of changing it up. Some weird crap in the water.
Things happen.
As far as a game where people hyped up a moment in it, it made our
Oh my
top.
God.
I think it's number one moment, isn't it, of the year?
I think
So
so.
that's up there.
It's
Yeah.
up there, yeah.
But as far as a hyped up moment that lives up to the hype in terms of what the F, it is
Yeah.
startling and bizarre and incredible.
Well, we would talk about that game in like issue meetings and stuff. I think Reeves, Yumi, and Reeves, I, and Miller. Oh, I had so many problems with pronouns there. Knew what happened in the end of that game, and were like very hushed. Like we weren't going to tell anyone about it, and we would talk about it in issue meetings. I think Andy once said like, "Yeah, I heard they spent like 2 years just on the ending."
on that
And I was
last section.
and I was getting nervous because I was like, I think we're building it up too much. Like, I don't know if people are, it's going to be as impactful for
Right.
them as it was for me. But for the most part, I think everyone walked away just wide eyed, like, whoa, that
We did a
was
spoiler
so
on it.
cool.
Unbelievable.
Which is
Just
good, worth
play
watching.
that game. Look for any clipping, any of like just the default things you expect in video games to help shatter that experience a little
Especially
bit.
indie games.
Right.
Yeah.
Not there. It's
Yeah.
like that game is molded out of clay.
Super
it's so
good.
bizarre.
High
I'm not going to forget that game ever.
Yeah,
that game
and
will
that's
always
kind of
be-
my one sitting game, right?
Yeah.
Like that is the game you put in, you finish it, and you're like so satisfied by the end of it. And
Yeah.
it goes so many different directions in terms of gameplay.
Right.
And it's
Fantastic.
One of those
Fantastic.
games you talked about puzzles. Like, there's not a lot of repeated puzzles in there, which I love about that. Like, every puzzle feels fresh and different and unique.
It's just a perfectly, like, just well designed, like, I don't know. That game is just so good to me. Like, it's exactly like every moment of that game is designed by someone with a vision. you
Lots
know?
of focus testing.
Yes.
But
Super
they
tight,
nailed it.
Super
yeah.
tight jumping.
Reeves.
This is number 7, right?
Correct.
Doom.
Nice.
This year was full of great shooters, obviously, and I think this is my favorite shooter of the year. It's which is interesting because it's like goes back to like the classic Doom style gameplay, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Even when we did the cover story in it, and Bertz was pretty hot on it, you were pretty hot on it, Reiner. But I ended up really liking it, just the way they use the physical mechanic to like punch dudes and like gain a
Okay.
little bit of health back, and then you're shooting and always on the move, and it's really intense and really fun and great music.
Fun, fast, frantic. Dan Tack, number 7.
Number 7. No, this won't be on anyone else's list. Monster Hunter Generations.
It's my number 1. No, I'm just kidding.
Go on,
Yeah,
sir.
I was pretty sad I didn't win the fight to get this in the top 50.
Because the debate was how much of it is just remixing old content.
And there's plenty of old content, but lots of great old content all in one package. So like you revisit locations and monsters from other games. And there's some new stuff as well. And it's great. If you like the Monster Hunter games, you already know that. And if you haven't, I encourage you to try it. I mean, I'd love to see a Monster Hunter game that's not on the freaking handheld platform,
Yeah.
and really dig into that. But it is great, and you'll have tons of fun with it.
Yeah. Kyle Hilliard.
My favorite shooter of the year, Titanfall 2. I really like
Wow.
Titanfall 2.
Oh,
God.
that game.
The Effect and Cause
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Mhm.
Like it's been a while since I've really enjoyed like a shooter campaign level. And it also reminded me of Half-Life 2 just in the sort of build up to the end and the way that the last level works out. I just had that, like, in the end of Half-Life 2, you get the new gravity gun, and it feels great to just rip everyone apart. I had that sort of same feeling working my way through the end of Titanfall 2, and it was great. It's the first-person shooter in a long time that I have been, like, totally engaged all the way through. Like, I play Call of Duty almost every year, and I always run into that moment where I'm like, all right, I guess I need to finish this level. I don't really want to do this, but I got to get to the end.
I really enjoyed Titanfall 2. It didn't make my list. It had the highest moment, like you're saying, of all the shooters this year, I think. But I liked Infinite Warfare's campaign more.
Oh, interesting.
And that's not on my list either.
I felt I mean, we talked about it on the podcast, but the pacing of Titanfall 2's campaign is so incredible. And people hype up the Effecting Cause mission. I feel like there are 3 or 4 other missions in the game that are also amazing. Don't think of it as just this one peak and otherwise okay campaign. Like, it's so creative throughout. Valve was a big inspiration for the team, I know. And
I can tell. Yeah.
It was my number 11. It really killed me. But because I didn't really dig the multiplayer, and I know a lot of people are, and that's great. I just couldn't get into it. That I felt bad. Like, just putting 50% of a game on the list.
The campaign was enough for me. Like,
yeah, it was great. I had so much fun with that. Where are we at? Now, my number 7. Didn't expect it. Forza Horizon 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I had such a great time with that game. Yeah, exactly. I like the occasional open world racing game and whatnot, but as far as a game that was just always a delight to go back to, it's Overwatch-esque in terms of just sitting back. I know I'm going to have a great time, listen to podcasts for hours, and just race around Australia. I think the world, just leveling up the different bases throughout the area. There's so many different activities. Having the button of, hey, give me the next fun thing to do. And then I just drive there with pretty looking cars, pretty looking environments, the rewind mechanics. It just makes racing accessible. Unbelievably fun.
It's a good pick. Not on my list, though. That's probably my number 12. 11 was Doom. Doom almost made it.
Doom's
so
really
close.
Good.
Yeah, lots of 11 and 12s out there.
Number 6, Reiner.
Another new entry, gentlemen. Oh, how exciting.
All right.
Dishonored 2.
What was that game?
It's a little indie project from Bethesda. You might have heard of them. They made a Pirates game. And Wayne Gretzky hockey.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And a Terminator game.
Oh.
Sequel to Dishonored 1. Corvo's back. Emily, his daughter, is older. You play as her as well. 2 campaign directions you could do.
Which way did you go?
Emily.
Interesting.
I went Emily as well, and I'm still planning that Corvo playthrough, but like Emily just had like a unique new set of powers, which I had to try out, and they all are pretty good, I thought.
They sell her in the opening moments, too, of like, okay, she seems interesting. I want to see her story play out.
Storytelling in the opening was a little bit weird.
Yeah, but I thought she was like, oh, okay, she seems interesting.
Sure.
Right?
Storytelling overall was a little weak, but like gameplay systems, you could like explore those levels in so many different ways and like accomplish your goals in so many different ways. I just had a lot of fun with that game.
Yeah. Pay attention to Prey, everybody. It's going to be good.
I think it will be good. Go check it out.
Did Dishonored make anybody else's list?
It might have made mine.
Oh, Ben Reeves. What would you say is your number 6?
Reiner, I'm not even joking you. Dishonored.
We are one person.
Man, I think you copied my list.
Right
Is that what
here.
happened?
Wait, are you guys looking at the same phone, you
Oh,
idiots?
wait a minute. Is this your phone?
This is mine.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Dan Tack.
Number 6, Let It Die.
Wow.
That's a weird one.
That's right.
This is coming in late.
As I said in the podcast, which 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks, whatever that is, this is like the most Dan Tack game of all games. Just can't put it down. Just unbelievable. Like,
just like Dan Tack.
Love the progression
Can't put 'em
systems. I love the roguelike aspects of it. Just there are obviously some bad points, which if you want to hear about them, go listen to that podcast because I talk a lot about the game. Rather than reiterate the points to you, it's just a really fun, really unique experience for today. Sort of like grokking the old tower climbing roguelike games of 20 years ago.
If you're into games that grok roguelikes, check out Let It Die.
That's right.
Awesome. Kyle Hilliard.
We're at 6, right?
Yep.
The Witness. From Mr.
That was
Jonathan
this
Blow.
year.
That was this year.
People really dug it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I love that game. That's like one of those games. I don't really let myself stay up super late to play games that much anymore. Because I'm a grown up, sort of.
Right.
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
The Witness kept me up all night a couple times. It's kind of hard to pitch that game because it's just like you're in this open area with these little line puzzles. But man, something about solving each one of those puzzles and moving deeper into sections of that world is really interesting. And I love the design. I just have that island memorized in my head just because I enjoyed exploring it so much.
Yeah, for sure.
I heard that
Really like the
game
a lot.
blows.
I heard that too.
Very, very good.
It's made by Blow.
It was a
That
great
was my
joke.
joke.
Ryan.
Made
Yeah,
by
sorry.
Blows. Number 6 for me is Inside. I didn't think I would enjoy it.
Hey!
Yeah, it was a game.
I'm happy that you played that, Hanson, and
I
that's
know.
on your list.
I told you I was going to hate it ahead of time, and then I ended up loving it. Reiner.
No new pick here. Dark Souls 3, number
There we
5.
go.
Good choice.
What a game.
Reeves.
All right, this is number 5.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3.
Picross 3D Round 2.
Oh, man. Yes.
There we go.
One of the best. It's my favorite puzzle game of the year. I know you just mentioned Witness. It was kind of a competition between those two,
Little bit,
and
yeah.
I wish Picross had won because Picross 3D is so good. If you ever played Picross, Picross 3D takes it up like several notches, and it's a different experience because you have to look around a cube. And then Picross Round 2 adds this color mechanic, which, if you describe, sounds super boring. Reiner's already falling asleep.
Reeves, I'm with you, man. I
But
love
it changes
Picross.
it up so much, and it's so fun. Like, if you love puzzle games, you have to do yourself a favor and play
It's
that.
a true sequel. It has good pacing. It's like Picross is so rewarding to like build these. You're like building these sort of statues, and Round 2 was fantastic.
I should point out, you guys loved it so much it made our top 50.
Yeah, we fought.
That's
for
right.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
were like, please.
Yeah,
Well, I
like
like-
games that
I did.
addicting.
I liked
Yeah.
your argument, Hanson, of like you've spent what did you say? You've spent so much time in hotel rooms on cover trips listening to Reeves and I play Picross 3D Round 2.
Or just
Like,
sitting in a bed next to Reeves in a hotel and he will not
Whoa.
stop playing it. It'll be like 2 in the
Whoa.
morning and he's still playing it, wearing his cute little PJs.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, what's going on in there?
So good.
Oh yeah, we're making love in the hotel. Yeah.
I mean,
That's what
that's
you're getting at.
what I extrapolated from
Yeah.
that.
Anyways, Antek, what's
What are
number
we-
5?
Number 5, it's Virginia. Wait, no, this is Jamie's list.
What? Come on,
Whoa.
leave Virginia alone, as the song
number
says.
5, we already discussed. It's Pokemon Go.
There we go.
Nice.
Great choice, Kyle.
5. Picross 3D Round 2.
Yep.
Wow.
Good
Above the
game.
witness.
No, Reeves
Yeah.
is like just tagging.
Yeah. Well, I tagged him that time.
Controversial game here. It did not make our top 50. I had such a good time with it, despite it seemed like everybody else in the office that played it. Harmonix's Amplitude. I am a huge Frequency and Amplitude fan. I feel like they did such a good job bringing that back. Everyone was worried about the controller on PS4. Soundtrack is not amazing. A lot of people just played through the main campaign. The bonus songs you unlock after that get so much better, and there's still highlights within the soundtrack there. And also people were frustrated that you unlock the bonus songs by getting high scores in the actual campaign. And
Sounds
that
like
you
a
had to
hit.
play through the entire thing, but you could restart those songs whenever you want. I didn't find it nearly as frustrating to unlock those, and it's like the first 3 hours maybe, and then after that, it's just high score chases. It is the best playing music game I've ever played. I
Wow.
absolutely love it.
More than
Amplitude on
Beatles Rock
PS4.
Band.
I think that's fun, but
More than fun
Rock
part.
Band doesn't feel like satisfying to play really for like the high end play.
Okay.
But Amplitude knocks it out of the park for me. I absolutely adore it. But that's my number 5.
Another new entry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Number
boy.
4.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
This one disrupted my Overwatch time.
Uh-oh.
Gears of War
Oh, interesting.
4.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
That horde mode is brilliantly done. Like being able to move your base around, 5-player with classes, incredible. Like having the engineer out there, fixing your turrets, all that stuff, amazing gameplay. Like the campaign, it started out really, really strong, and I thought they hit some of the same beats too much toward the end. But I really like the new characters. I think it got away from the whole dude bro thing and kind of established itself as a unique tale in this universe to a degree with those because of those characters. Love it. Yeah, I want to go play it right now. Like I think that game is rock solid, and if you didn't give it a shot because it's a new developer, you're doing it wrong. You
Yeah.
gotta play that game.
I'm glad that game did well.
Reeves.
Number 4.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a list. He's making it up as he
Is it
goes.
Gears?
He's-
No, I wish it was Gears.
Gears.
It's actually Inside. I love that game. It's really
Right
good.
on.
Go
It's a
play
very
it.
good game.
Fantastic.
Number 4, World of Warcraft Legion.
Yeah.
Best expansion pack they've had since Wrath of the Lich King, maybe since Burning Crusade.
Wow.
Preach, man.
Amazingly crafted. Just the new artifact weapon system to keep the end game interesting. They changed up daily. Basically, every system that has sucked in World of Warcraft for the last 5 years has been redone in a way that makes it more appetizing. So
Wow.
great stuff, and for the first time also ever in like the last 6 years, content keeps rolling down the pipe. So instead of waiting an entire expansion for more stuff's continually coming.
That's awesome. Great choice. Kyle, number 4.
A divisive game, I think, in our office.
Oh,
at
The
least.
Division?
No, divisive.
Oh.
Definitely not the Division. Certainly not the Division.
Whoa,
Take it back.
I didn't
whoa,
play the
That's
Division.
too mean.
Going.
some strong opinions here. About the Division.
Anyway, my number 4 is The Last Guardian.
Oh,
I really
man, that
adore that
broken
game.
hunk of
I know some
of loving.
Some people are getting frustrated with it, and I think that's fine. I don't know if I just got lucky. I hear if you're nicer to Trico, he responds to you more, and he listened to me a lot. I really only had like one occasion where I got annoyed with him, but man, that character is just an achievement in animation, not even in just like interactive gaming, but just like animation in general. I love Trico. I'm gonna go play that game again. There's not even really a lot of incentive to do it. I just want to stay in that world so much. I really enjoyed The Last Guardian.
In the interest of just a game that does something new,
I looked it up. It's not really a thing I did.
But that Trico stands out so much. We're going to be talking about Trico for so long. I think I said to Dan Tack this morning, I said, probably next 15 years, we're going to be referencing Trico. It's like, oh, do you guys remember when they nailed that one character, that one giant character in interactive space?
It's our character of the year, reasonably so.
Yeah. And Dan Tack is flabbergasted. It's incredible.
Hey, I think it's certainly a majestic thing this year. 15 years, I don't buy it.
People are going to be talking about a puzzle in The Last Guardian 15 years. They're going to be talking about Trico was an incredible achievement in 2016.
If you're talking about like some person on a last
we'll
Guardian
check back
forum,
in 15
maybe.
years.
But like you're talking about it in the greater scale.
Kyle,
I just don't see it.
Really quick, you are a huge fan. Shadow of the Colossus,
big time.
Ico, whatever you call it, Trico, Last Guardian. Where does this one stack up in those three?
I think I might. Shadow Colossus is still the masterpiece. That's his Ueda's best game. I think I would put Last Guardian second above Ico.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Okay. Cool.
My number 4 is The Last Guardian. And in case anyone's wondering, I think Shadow of the Colossus is Ueda's masterpiece. Then I put Last Guardian, and then Ico below that.
Is that really? Are you just making a joke, or do you really feel?
I'm
that
100% serious about all that.
I'm glad you feel that way, Hanson.
Reiner.
Number 3, we already went over it. Clash Royale.
There we go.
Wow,
number
that's
3.
High. Very high.
Dude, like I said, I play it all the time.
Yes.
I'm gonna fire it up right
Please
now.
don't.
Seriously, I play it all the time. I love that game.
Ben Reeves.
Hanson, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Stardew Valley. Number 3.
Wow.
It was a game that Hanson championed the hell out of. And he was like, you got to play this game. And I was like, started it, and for the first half hour, I was like, it seems okay, maybe I'll play a little more. And then at some point everything clicked, and it's like I lost the next 2 weeks to this game, and I didn't know how to stop. Like, I just constantly thinking about it at work, wanting to go home.
Your wife
and
left you.
harvest crops. That's right.
Fantastic. I'm so glad that you chose on this list and that it resonated with you. I always worry I was pushing it too much. Like, it's certainly become the thing in the office to joke about, like, oh, Hanson's love affair with Stardew Valley. It's just so incredible to me that a developer was so in tune with what and I assume there's an audience out there as well, but it just felt so personalized to me in terms of just, I love the simplicity of Harvest Moon. There's so much fun there, and they just are blowing it. If you just strip all that away, dig down to the core elementals, and then just expand on those, that's all I want from a game. And Stardew Valley knocks out of the park in every way.
I know a lot of other people got into it too.
There is a retro element in that game that you just don't see anymore in games. Like, there's just this special pacing to it. I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm playing it, I'm like, man, this is what I liked about games of yesteryear. And it's
but there's
not
nothing
just,
that's a hassle from games of
exactly.
yesteryear.
There's just something unique about it that stands out in this day and age, and I want more experiences like that.
And as far as the addictive nature, I was listening to an interview with Sid Meier recently, and people were asking him the obvious question of, hey, one more turn with Civ, why is that, right? And he had an awesome way of looking at it that I've never thought of, where he's like, well, all games are about present tense, like reacting to stuff. But with Civ, you get so used to planning in the future that your mind is constantly in the future tense. And when your mind is constantly adapting in the future tense, and that's the standard, you never know when to stop. And I feel like Stardew Valley is the exact same as Civ in that way, where you're always planning for the next couple of days. And when that's all you're doing is looking on the horizon, there's no point to stop. And your wife will leave you.
That's true.
Yeah. Unless it's Maru, she'll stick around forever.
It was really hard to stop playing that game.
Dan Tack.
Number 3, we've talked about it already. Darkest Dungeon.
There we go.
There you go.
Joe Hilliard.
So good.
Number 3, gotta double check to make sure. Pokemon Go.
Number
Really
3, Pokemon Go for me as
Wow,
well.
Very high for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is not a joke.
I can seriously see it up there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, flawed game for sure, but man, it took over my life and continues to do so.
Yeah, Reiner.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. No.
Did we skip your 3?
No, I literally had Pokemon Go.
You had
as number
Pokemon
3
Go
as
as well.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uncharted. This is my number 2.
We haven't talked about this game before. I'm probably the only person with it on my list. XCOM 2. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
One of my favorite. It was almost my number 1, and I was a huge fan of the original. I'm a huge strategy fan, obviously. This game is one of the most intense games. We talked about Darkest Dungeon being hard and intense. Like, XCOM is equally as hard and intense, and I just love the rich strategy there.
It's so tough. XCOM 2 I feel the most guilty about it this year. I've played like 15 hours. It just did miserably and constantly wanted to restart. And I want to spend more time with it for sure. But I feel like it has that weird enemy within effect of like Enemy Unknown was so great. Everybody loved it. And then the idea of doing more of it, it's like, I guess I
It can be
do that.
emotionally taxing. Like when you lose one of your guys, especially if you
It's
do you name them after people you
heartbreaking.
know?
Not for people I know. I usually name them after like famous people like Abraham Lincoln or
Wow,
just
the president.
Like, just not
Dead
all
presidents.
presidents, but just like
They're
whatever
protecting
comes to
our
me at the
country.
time. I had like Bob Vila was a really good sniper, and I had like Snow White was a really good
Nice.
like
Of
shotgun.
course.
Anyway.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, some of the changes, I don't know if I'm crazy about. It constantly feels like you're not in control. I understand that's the appeal of XCOM, is to feel like things are always spiraling out of control and you're overwhelming odds, all that stuff. But just in terms of the notifications on the map and having to bring the Sky Ranger around, or what do they call it, the Avenger, around to all these different sites, it just felt like I could never sink my teeth into a plan in any way. Maybe it's just designed too much for strategy fans where they always want to shake up the strategy fans' plans. But for me, it was just a little bit too much about like, hey, this is popping up over here. This is popping up over here. Where I felt like Enemy Unknown was much more clear. You have a couple options here and there, but you can make some clean progress.
Yeah.
So that really threw me off.
Yeah, I don't know if I had quite the same problems, but definitely did like it definitely wasn't easy on you, you know. It definitely was like it felt like the game was against you to the point where when you overcame it, like it felt so good, like fist in the air, like Dark Souls kind of a thing, right? I know I'm sure that it's on Dan's list.
But Reeves,
I get that.
You've been a big champion for that game all year, and I don't think enough people in the office played it because I think the PC only release kind of
feel
weakened
sad that more people didn't play it. And I think it
Yeah.
was because it came out on PC first, and we had when the first game came out, a lot of fans of that game. I think because a lot of people were playing it here in the office on consoles.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it came out later on consoles, I think a lot of people. I'm glad Reiner you got around to it, but I wish more people had got around
But
to
by
it.
that time, there's just so much else to play.
Exactly. Yeah, it was bad timing.
Reeves, I'm sorry, Dan Tack. Number 2.
Number 2, Dark Souls 3.
There we go, baby.
What a twist.
What a twist. Kyle, number 2.
Hyper Light Drifter, which I don't think that's on anybody's list.
I beat
but
that
I
game.
love that game, man. I played through it twice actually because I played through it for review, and then when it came out on consoles, I played it again. It's just kind of like Inside. It just feels like that meticulously designed single player experience. The music is so good, and the combat sort of lines up with how I like to approach action games in general, which is like get in for quick hits and get out. And that's like all that combat is. Every boss fight is like get in, get your hits, get out, move really fast. And I love the way it looks. It's super good. Hyper Light Drifter, one of my favorite games of the year.
Wow. Number 2, Overwatch for me.
Oh,
Heard of it.
Guess what?
Number
title.
2. Interesting. Okay.
What could it be? Reiner, number
It's gonna be a
1.
real twist.
Who watches the Overwatch?
Number 1's Overwatch for you?
Overwatch, number 1.
You're one of those Xbox One players I hear
am.
about.
Yeah, you guys are all on
Legendary.
PS4. And I'm
It's funny,
on,
I actually don't know if I feel
I'm
like
not on PS4.
I feel like I haven't heard you talk about Overwatch like
Yeah,
in the
me
office
neither.
a ton, you know? But maybe that's because you're busy focused on
I think
Turing
Kyle's
things.
calling you a dirty liar.
Yeah, I know your gaming habits. I've
Whoa.
played Pokemon Go with you enough to know what you're doing with your free
Who's
time.
your
You
main
guys
character?
remember the awesome? I was just going to point this out. You remember the awesome Game Informer editors choose their favorite Overwatch characters? Genji with my face on it. Remember that joke,
Oh,
guys?
dude, I think I photoshopped that actually.
You did. Yeah,
Are you
I
still a
love
Genji guy?
Oh yeah, he's the best. The blocking
Wow.
mechanic, everything about that is
Wow.
it's so good.
Wowza.
And I'm a ninja.
There we go.
I am Genji.
Ben Reeves, number 1.
My number 1, I think I alluded to it earlier, Uncharted 4.
I
Solid
didn't
pick.
expect that. That's
Really?
incredible. Yeah.
Solid pick.
It's a really good game.
Dan Tack.
Number 1, Overwatch.
There we go.
What a surprise.
Kyle.
Number 1, Inside is the best game of 2016.
That's a very solid
That's wrong,
choice.
but
You will
okay, good job.
No, it is. I checked. I did the searching. It is.
You get a participation badge.
Okay.
Kyle, name one thing wrong with Inside.
It's too short?
No, I think the length is perfect.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. See, I can't. You're putting me on
You
the
got to
spot.
name something.
There's something
Come
wrong with Inside.
Yes.
You're not
This is
playing it
hard,
right
you
now?
guys. Yeah.
Those chicks in the beginning are a little too cute.
I
for
did worry. I
Hanson.
remember when I started playing it, and I was like, I gotta kill these chicks. This is what this game is gonna do to me. It's gonna make me kill livestock.
Slaying chicks sounds like Kyle in college.
Oh, heyo! Sounds like my prom night. Did I use that joke right?
Wow.
Keep going.
Okay. I honestly don't have an answer. Like Inside is just a game, like my type of game. I just love really focused, designed, like single player experiences where every moment is sort of designed with an idea in mind. And that's kind of why Overwatch is low on my list, because I don't really engage as heavily in those type of multiplayer. It's different every time experiences. And Inside is just awesome. And I'm very proud of myself for figuring out the game's hardest puzzle without resorting to the internet because I did it before.
Good job, Kyle.
Very smart.
Before the
Good
review
job,
bar
good
gets
job.
lifted.
I texted you so many times throughout that game.
Yeah, you did.
I played through the game. All right, played through it once and then watched through it again twice. Incredible.
Wow, okay.
Incredibly fun. Stardew Valley, number one.
Yeah,
Number one.
I
Ladies and
figured
gentlemen.
this
Good
one.
job.
Brain teaser there. I didn't see that one.
Well, I considered Overwatch. A lot of my friends are like,
I mean, you
"Oh,
haven't-
in your mind, could you not choose Overwatch? We've played so many hours together." It's like, eh.
You haven't mentioned Stardew Valley on the podcast at all, right?
I don't
Like,
believe so. I don't
I'm
believe
just
so.
glad
I
it's getting
played
its moment here.
yeah.
I'm out on consoles
doesn't get
now.
enough credit.
I'm playing on Xbox One. It's actually very good on that.
I will
Oh,
say
good.
your pick I was not surprised by. Dan, I was not surprised by your number one. But you guys, your 2 picks, I was surprised by your number one.
Absolutely.
Me and Reiner?
Yeah.
Why?
Why were
Because
you
I haven't heard you talk about Overwatch.
I've
I
heard
wear a
Reiner talk
Genji
about-
shirt all the time.
I've
Yeah,
heard
you also
Reiner
wear
talk
a
about
I'm wearing it
wiffle
right
ball
now.
1978 shirt.
If you had to guess what his number one was going to be, what would you have guessed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Flash.
Bring it.
maybe. Yeah, actually, maybe Pokemon Go or Clash probably, because that's just like all we talk about.
But I mean, that's
or
because
the
we're
Cubs.
actively.
Is the Cubs a video game?
Oh yeah, that's my number.
Oh, the World
0.5.
Series. There you go.
The Chicago Cubs, 2016
It is a
World
game,
Series champions.
technically.
Number one.
Well, we did it, you guys. That was 2016.
That was fun, Hanson.
There were so many great games
There
out
were.
this year. God bless
and
the
we got
industry
to
for
every
pumping
single
that out.
one on this.
Yeah, the best of the best. No questions asked. Everyone did a great job. Again, if you want to know everybody else's top 10 list, check out the latest issue of Game Informer. You'll learn all about it.
I want to give a special shout out
Yeah.
to someone that deserves it. Wade Wojcik in the control room.
Hello, Wade.
Get me on this camera.
Oh, Wade.
And now this camera.
Uh-huh.
Go
And
to
then
the
that
2-shot.
This is
Oh,
great
man.
for audio listeners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
perfect.
no, Wade puts the show together, and he does such a fantastic
We
job.
should get Wade's number one real quick. if
Yeah,
he's-
Wade.
Yeah,
What
what
is
is
your
your
number
game
one?
of the year?
A game that none of you mentioned, which was Battlefield 1.
Okay, you can just turn off your
Oh.
microphone. Yeah,
Boom.
just turn that off.
Again,
Wow.
that's a surprise.
What
I-
a shocker.
I
just
take it
got
all- I take
sat
it all
down.
back.
No, I like that game a lot.
I did too. Yeah. Great. All right. Well, that's not the end of the show. We're going to move on to emails, and then we're going to get to a great final segment after that. So stay tuned for emails. And welcome back to the Game Informer Show. We're all still here. We've all changed a fair
It's
amount.
been some time.
We went to the same
Shaved in
room.
between segments.
That's
which
right.
Is weird,
I
man.
lost my beard. We are now in 2017 for the listening audience. We know it's confusing, but we're so much smarter than those past selves. We've learned a lot over the break. We've all done a lot, and now we're coming in fresh and energized. Dan's got a hot pot of coffee.
I do.
He's dressed to the nines, unlike that schlub who was on the first half of the podcast.
I forget what I was even wearing on the
That's
first
fine.
one.
But we got a lot of people here, and what we're going to
burlap
do
sack.
is we had a lot of emails accumulating over the break, so this is going to be an extended email section.
Ooh.
So y'all ready for this?
Hooah.
Here we go. Mark from Surprise, Arizona
What?
Is that a real
says,
place?
GI Crew, I hope so. Unless he's saying, surprise, you have listeners in Arizona.
What?
Awesome Ed Boon interview.
Thank
Reiner.
you.
Oh.
There's
It was
a
good.
Magazine
It's surreal, right?
issue
It's
and
surreal.
then some pull-out things.
Thank you.
They talked to him for 16 hours, and I think posted the entire transcription.
I think you only asked him 2 questions, and he just kept talking.
No,
right?
it was, seriously, when that interview began, we asked him one question, just take me back to day one of you getting introduced to video games, and he went on for 15 minutes.
This
And
is.
we were just captivated, and I was like, wait, I'm an interview guy. I got to ask questions.
I'm an interview guy.
But no, it was awesome. I know Ed really well. I'm both of us in the business over 20 years, so a lot of interaction there and
Yeah.
opportunities.
So Mark says Mortal Kombat is and will forever be one of my favorite franchises of all time. I was hoping you guys can give a list of your favorite games. Below is my list from worst to best Mortal Kombat games. Keep up the great work. Ed Boon is creative director for Mortal Kombat, founder of
Director,
NetherRealm. What is the
Programmer, director.
He's the maestro. He is the Kojima to Metal Gear. What is to ACT to thing. So number 13 in his list is Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Interesting.
I think we played that on a replay.
We
Yeah,
did.
that's a
Let me know which
nightmare.
of these we
It's
haven't
nightmare.
played on replay. Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero.
That one's really bad.
Hot
did that
Avalanche joint from Disney
that's
Infinity
right.
fame. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. He says there's no fatalities in this one. What the hell? Mortal Kombat versus DC, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, which I love. Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat X. Number 3, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, he says.
Yeah, it's such a
Whoa.
good game.
The co-op
Genuinely,
action
not
game,
just
right?
like silly fun, but like
That
genuinely
is a
great.
fun co-op game. We did that as a full super replay. You can
Yeah.
watch it on YouTube.
That's right. His number 2 Mortal Kombat game of all time is Mortal Kombat 2.
Mhm.
And his number 1 is the reboot from 2011.
Oh, wow.
Is that, what do you guys think of that?
It's hot
It's
garbage.
pretty
that whole
solid
list.
Pretty solid list.
Way off.
Would anybody
Deadly
put-
Alliance would be way higher on mine.
I think it would for me too. Would anybody
That's
put,
a big turning point for that series.
Yeah. Would anybody put 2 in front of 1? or in front of the reboot?
I think I might.
I
Just
remember
going
really
retro.
liking, was it Ultimate 3? Ultimate or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he said specified on his list, but like it was way better. It had more characters.
It
I
had, like,
put 2
smoke.
above the reboot. I put 2 above the reboot.
Yeah. Well, you're a
I love
retro
to.
kind of guy.
But
Yeah, I
man,
am.
the 3 fighting styles in the new one, oof, so good.
Yeah.
So
well,
good.
Deadly Alliance also had the 3 fighting styles, right?
Kind of switching your stance.
Right.
But they didn't do it
right.
as well.
I remember, God, was it Lizard? Or Reptile who had the
Oh, Lizard.
Oh boy, was it
Lizard-
Reptile who
Lizard
had like
Man.
the crab walk? One of the characters had a crab walk in Deadly Alliance. That was
I think
very
that's right.
funny.
I was a big fan of Ninja.
Is that right?
Yeah, Blue Ninja.
He was good, but
Blue Ninja, Orange Ninja.
I like
Don't
I like
forget-
Mask Guy. Mask Guy is my favorite.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt.
Hat.
What? Real
Yeah,
quick.
we're
What
getting
was
off
the
of that,
first
too.
game that Sector and Cyrax?
That was 2. 2.
The first time I saw that game, they were named Ketchup and Mustard.
Really?
They should have kept that. That's
That-
good.
those
fun.
were their
sense.
code names.
That's
That'd be a
great.
good callback at some point.
I'm sure they're mining all those old things. What I mean, noob and all that stuff. Anyways, Neil from Youngstown, Ohio says, "Hey GI crew, I and the podcast community need to know once and for all: is stupid fun a good thing or a bad thing?"
It's one of the best things.
It's one of the best
Good
things.
thing.
It's a
Dan
good
Tack?
thing.
Can we define what stupid
No,
fun
is
is?
stupid
He's not
fun as
saying-
an overall
You know what?
concept
as,
in games.
As long as it's got fun. Yeah, fun's in the term, so yes, it's a good thing.
fun is the term.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, who cares?
What about bad fun?
What is that?
I don't know.
It's like Sharknado is stupid fun.
right. EDF.
Stupid fun.
There we go.
It's good stuff.
Dalen Briggs from Iowa says, What are some gaming New Year resolutions that you've made, and are there any that you actually kept?" So going back in your history, did you ever start a new year saying, "I'm going to do this year, no matter what, come hell or high water"?
I think one year I said I'm going to like branch off into more genres and go play more strategy games.
How'd that MOBA trend go for you?
I played a little Fire Emblem,
Okay.
and that did not go well.
I
unfortunate.
don't really like resolutions as a general principle, but every year I do try to like go back and play like an old game that I haven't played before.
In
Kinda like-
January, like the early kind of dry
Yeah,
months?
usually like the beginning of the year is a good time. So like
Yeah.
2 years ago it was like Chrono Trigger, and last year was Bully. So
Oh.
like I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I haven't decided yet. But
What's
so, I
on
don't
the
know if
top of
you
your
have
list?
Suggestions. Good question. I haven't actually looked at the list, but I know there's a few on there that I'm like, oh, I should go back and play this. Like one was Earthbound. It's kind of near the top.
Yeah, that's near the
Get
top
that
of
on
everyone's
3DS now.
list.
Yeah. So maybe that one.
It's not a resolution, but for Christmas I bought 4 of my friends copies of Overwatch because they never played it, and now we kind of have a game night set up. So I want to keep
Look
that
at that.
going as much as possible, just to play Overwatch.
That's smart. The friend game night, have that
Yeah,
be a
so that's
weekly
kind of a
ritual.
resolution, right?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
cool.
And then he says, "Are there any?" Hang on, Dan Tech. Did you have one from the past? New
No,
Year's
actually,
resolution?
I agree with Reeves. I don't really believe in resolutions.
Oh, God.
Like, I mean,
Such a Dan Tag thing.
It's
Roll
just-
your eyes at it. I'm going to say New
I
Year's
just
resolution.
don't. It's just another day. If you want to do something, then do it. I mean, if you want to use an arbitrary day as your motivation to, and it makes it work, great. But
Okay.
like, it just doesn't make sense to me as a concept.
Big Nike fan. Just do it.
It's a simple one, but I think back in like the start of 2012, I thought I'm going to write down every game I play and be nutso about it. And I really love that I have that list in
Yeah.
my phone
Yeah.
still. So over the past 4 years now, I have every game I've played.
Do
It's
you
really
date
fun to
them?
have.
Like when you finish them?
No.
So you just do what you play.
Just what I
have,
started.
I have like
yeah.
a list that's going on 6 years now of every game I've beaten.
Why
But
don't
not
you
every
share
game
that
I've
with
played.
people?
That's
Yeah,
fun.
that's
yeah.
I
cool
put mine
list.
online. I have like 6 years of that.
But that's how
I could.
definitive is it? I'd say starting a game is a better metric because you have some knowledge about it. Whereas there's so many games where you can't really finish, or you have a solid take on the game, but you never quite
Sure.
finished it. Like it's just kind of
yeah,
a
you
murky
got to
middle
write
ground.
about it then. Like, I
I
spent the most time with Overwatch. You
Sure.
can't beat that game.
Yeah,
right,
that's true.
right. Are there any New Year resolutions for the Game Informer magazine? Have we talked to the magazine lately? I know we have that room with the Sentient magazine, but
Nobody knows about that.
yeah, I guess.
Wait,
we
what
have
was
that.
the question?
What are some New Year resolutions for the GI magazine?
Keep kicking ass.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
we have our issue meeting later today. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
get to something.
we'll know then.
Also, Dalen says, side note, I totally called a Sonic game for 12/31 with my last email. I don't know if you recall. I just got the wrong game and I didn't expect this so soon. There we go, Dalen.
There's
Thank
like
you so much.
800 Sonic games.
Yeah, so we are doing Sonic 2006.
Yeah, and
It's a super replay.
it's been lovely.
It's called Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's a real classic.
We're
It's
having
been
a
really
blast.
fun so far.
It's a real classic.
We are.
Even
We're
though
really
the
bonded.
game is really like, I didn't know the game was as bad as it was before I got in there. And it's really bad.
There's a special breed of bad that it is too, where it's like frenetic, tossing you around an environment bad. Normally, a bad game you can still kind of take your time through it, but when this game's launching you into just broken geometry. It's a
There's-
new flavor.
There's points where you're starting a level, and it's like a cutscene where your character's just running down a highway, and every once in a while, you'll just fall off and die, and you can't do anything about it. You're just like, oh, there's that life.
was a watch.
Oh my God. So Adam Smitley says, I was sitting in my office, furiously typing an email to podcast@gameinformer.com, which is how you work this. By the way, we should point out we're going to pick our favorite from this big old batch for email of the week.
Thinking,
Okay, woo.
I got it on my brain.
Okay. Furiously typing an email to podcast@gameinformer.com about to ask if a new game based on Douglas Adams' work was being made. I literally refreshed my podcast feed, and what did mine eyes appear? But a podcast about the man himself. Coincidence? I think not.
He
Anyway,
said he willed that podcast into existence.
I think so. I think
Okay.
I did get a strange feeling, and I
Yeah.
realized I need to crank out all these interviews right now for Adam Smitley. Thank you. I got a lot of kind feedback on that. Thank you for listening. Anyway, the original intent of my email was to ask if the GI staff has any other properties they would like made into a game. I'd love a big open universe game based on Douglas's Hitchhiker series. What
So
properties
is
are
this stuff that doesn't already exist? Like I can't say Spider-Man because that already
I think
exists.
so. Well, I think
No.
it can exist, but just hasn't been touched in a while. Maybe
Okay.
something that you want a new game based on this property.
I've talked about it before. I think I even wrote something once for
Ooh.
the site that I want a game based in like the Neo Tokyo of Akira. Like I want to be part
That'd be
of a
good.
bike gang in Neo Tokyo.
Hmm.
Like I played like Lost in the Damned, the GTA DLC.
Right.
I'm like, man, I wish this was like Neo Tokyo, and I
Have
was
you
rolling around the
seen-
city.
Have you seen the GTA 5 multiplayer edition where they now have Tron bikes in it? That's basically
yeah, I
it.
saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they didn't really have like Tron bikes per se. It's not. That's
Yeah.
like futuristic, where like Akira is very much like cobbled together crap, based on this like almost this like borderline apocalypse.
Inside didn't do it for you enough?
It was close.
Kind of along the same lines. I think like 10 years ago or so, they were working on a Cowboy Bebop game that never came out. And
Yeah.
I was really excited about that concept because I like Cowboy Bebop a fair amount. Anything that's like super really stylish anime art style, I'm really into that.
Attack on Titan, baby.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty fun.
I don't know. I've never seen Attack on Titan. Maybe.
Did they make a Cowboy Bebop game for PS2?
There was
They
there
were
was one that
working
was
on it.
announced and it showed up in magazines. I remember seeing
Right.
screenshots.
I don't
of
think
it.
it actually came out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think you ever got on the ship really. I think it was just like an action game.
Right.
And I also heard it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like somebody to make a good Star Trek game too.
Remember that Star Trek game based in the new universe that no one really talks about? That co-op game with Kirk and Spock?
Yeah, that wasn't good. I said good.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't a train wreck.
It could have been way worse. there's some redeemable moments.
It's no
but
Sonic the Hedgehog
It's
2006.
definitely not.
I really want a game, and I understand that it's constant variety and that's expensive, but I just want a good Magic School Bus game. Bring us back
What?
to that Magic
Why?
universe. I want to be able to drive
Unbelievable.
around the Magic School Bus. I want to turn it into a starship. I want to get baked into a pie.
You could do
Just everything
drugs.
that's good.
Yeah.
Go to that
You
frictionless
wanna do it?
world
He
and
wants
play
to
some
get baked,
baseball.
all right.
Yeah. All right. Dan Tack, anything?
Yeah, let's see. I guess Transmetropolitan would be cool to try on some kind of game.
Wow.
Man, that's
All
a
right.
good
I
pick.
think so. Yeah,
From Telltale, right? You love
I would-
those.
definitely not from Telltale.
I don't. That's not. It's
But
good.
you know what? Hey, honestly, yes.
You'd take it, right?
If we're talking, if it had to be Telltale, I'd still take it. That'd be an interesting way to do it. Yeah,
It's pronounced T-tail.
I'd be okay with that.
Hello, GI crew.
All right, I won't answer that.
No, go ahead. Jump in. Anybody jump in.
There's
just
five
sit
of
here.
us, man. You gotta get in there.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know
Wrestle.
that TV network, the CW?
What?
They, yeah.
You know they
The
have
teen drama
those
network?
awesome DC properties like Arrow
That's
Okay.
right.
and The Flash.
That's right.
I want Monolith, the guys that did Shadow of Mordor, to do an Arrow game, an archery like open world game. Would be frickin' badass.
Okay.
What?
Why are you judging me, Kyle?
I
That
don't-
was the most judgmental face I've ever seen from
What
you.
is the Arrow really doing?
It's
I've
more
never seen the
thoughtful.
show.
I know he spends time on an island for a while, right?
Mhm.
And then
That's
he
funny.
like it's like a
It's
he
like
hangs out. in the
Lost,
city.
like flashbacks.
Okay.
Do they-
So would the game take place on this island?
Both.
Oh.
Do they call him Green Arrow in
In
the
the
show?
No,
comics.
just Arrow.
Okay.
I thought
Does
they
he,
started.
But he's
calling-
green.
does he?
I'm only on season 3, so if you spoil that for
No,
me,
I mean,
that green's
uh-oh.
involved.
Uh-oh.
You're dead
Oh,
man.
oh, there's no colors at all.
How
Whoa.
canonical is it? Like the only Green Arrow I really know is from.
The Kevin Smith one.
That's right. No, Dark Knight Returns. When he doesn't have an arm.
Oh.
Is the missing arm part of that universe? Is it a big thing?
Not yet. This is its own continuity.
Okay.
It's or new origin story, and it is fantastic if you haven't watched it.
But at some point, is he going to lose an arm?
That would be
I
kind of
hope so.
awesome if the
That'd
last
be
season
sweet.
he lost his arm.
Or do like a
Sweet.
flash
I actually
forward where
kinda
it
like
is
that.
that continuity.
Well, Flash Forward's
a
another
possible
show.
future.
To Hanson's question, like, is that a thing? Like, when you think of Green Arrow, like, people, he's just a hero that doesn't have an arm. That's like a common thing, or is that
No.
just
No.
certain?
No.
certain
I think it's just
stories?
Dark Knight Returns.
That's just the Dark Knight universe.
Okay.
He is the Archer. You people know him as a cool Hawkeye.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool Hawk.
And so you just want to run around and shoot people wearing a green hood?
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Do you remember like
Parkouring
2013,
buildings?
the year of the bow, and everyone was losing their minds? Did you
Yeah,
play
I
games
want it
back
back.
then?
Yeah, I want it back.
Bring back the
Never
bow.
should have gone back. Gone away.
Absolutely.
Go back.
So
back.
Kofik Win says, "Hello, GI crew. I'm getting into MMOs for the first time since college. Shout out to Kyle and College of Charleston.
Heyo.
And I don't
That's
have
what we say when you're from college.
and I don't have as much time as I used to. What is the best way to utilize my short amounts of time playing these games? Should I focus on the main storyline or focus on grinding for gear? For reference, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, just so you know.
Play a different game.
14's cool. I
Sure.
like 14.
So MMOs have changed a lot over the years, and they are more accessible to casual time anymore. In fact, even the most hardcore games like don't require the time investments they used to, like nights every night raiding. You don't have to do that anymore. Even in Final Fantasy, at the end game, there's still ways to keep your item level relevant and keep up with the big boys by not playing as much. They've done this through a lot of different techniques like daily rewards, weekly rewards, stuff like that. And all the games are doing it, not just Final Fantasy 14. So should be fine.
Do you have a favorite though? Like one to point people to? Like, hey, I want a casual MMO.
I mean, right now, Legion is, again, all the games that have kept up in the MMO environment, they no longer facilitate hardcore lifestyles.
So the overall message is don't worry about it, do what you want, you'll
Just
be fine.
play.
Yeah, he actually will be, because the content's going to come out and it's going to make the old content obsolete. There'll be new ways to catch up. They'll constantly have those catch-up mechanics. Like, oh, hey, new stuff's out. Guess what? If you want to catch up to this, you'll be there.
When are they going to rope in the mustard mechanics? Go ahead, Reiner.
I just do what you like in MMOs. Like, really focus on that. Like, if you like the story stuff, continue with that. If you like just the quests or hanging out with friends, do that stuff. There's so much stuff you can do in them.
Do you? What are your thoughts on the Final Fantasy MMOs, Dan? I don't think we've ever talked about it.
So 14?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm not a fan of 14's combat. I've never been shy about saying that. I just think the global cooldown in that game is ridiculous, and it makes the gameplay a little bit more boring for me. I've played a ton of it, but for me, especially as more MMOs come out that are more action oriented, it's such a contrast to go back. That it's like I get a really like oh gosh, it's so slow. But other than that, I think it's fantastic. They do a successful job of tapping into that Final Fantasy nostalgia. The environments are great.
Soundtrack's great.
Dungeons are great. Soundtrack is amazing. It's just like some of those dungeons in that game, especially now that I'm more used to getting through content faster, they can take a little bit longer and can be very frustrating with pugs, with pickup groups, with random people.
You play with dogs?
Yeah, actually, in WoW, playing with pugs actually gets you a pug pet.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's something that happens.
That's clever.
You've been
Super
everywhere.
clever.
Love it.
But yes, as far as on the MMO scale, Final Fantasy 14 is high up there on the stuff that I'd recommend.
If
right
I
now.
asked you, I'm not asking you to do this. I think we've done this before, but to rank your Final Fantasies, could you confidently place the MMOs in that ranking? Do you feel like they need to be a completely separate
They're
pool?
a different thing.
Now, see,
Yeah.
I would take 11 out of the mix, because 11 is a very EverQuesty, incredibly hardcore, super
It was so
crazy
good, though,
hardcore.
at the
It was
time.
it was very good.
Are you
People
a
still
PS2
playing
guy,
that?
Reiner?
Yeah, we
Okay.
we had a huge group at Game Informer. The biggest group I've seen playing an MMO together was Final Fantasy 11.
Weird.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
And it was that console connection right
Because
out
was
of the
the
gate.
first console one.
Yeah.
Do you
And
guys
could play with PC?
do you remember when they were first talking about 10? They showed a video where you could go online in Final Fantasy 10. They showed like a menu, and you could hit the play online option. And they didn't explain exactly what it was going to be or what it was, but yeah, just a weird little anomaly.
Do you think
Just-
I've
Just real
11?
quick, back to the question real
Oh,
quick.
sure.
I would place 14 and its story within the same realm as the mainline titles.
What's it better than?
Quite a few of them. I would say.
What's it right above?
Oh boy, let's see. In my list,
15.
so in my list, it's better than all the 13
Okay.
things. Better than 12. Better than.
Playing with fire, dude.
I'm just telling how it is.
14? Have you played 14
He's not
yet?
Reiner. He's not shy.
Yeah, not at
Or
all.
15? Have you played 15?
I'm not complete. I haven't finished 15, so I don't want to.
He would put it above
Is it better than Overwatch?
What the? I mean, these are apples and oranges, but no, I would not say it is.
Nick from Georgia writes in from Atlanta itself. Kyle, how do you refer to Atlanta?
Hot Atlanta.
Thank you. If you could send a message to yourself as you play a game from 2016, paradox is ignored, what game and what lesson would you impart? For myself, I would pick Overwatch for the past and say, look, the beta was fun, but your laptop will not run the full game as well. Play it on console out of the gate. What message would you guys send to yourself if you were starting 2016 over again?
Buy a lot of strawberries and blueberries early on.
Yeah, 100%. Mine actually would be Stardew Valley. Like, learn to love fishing. As annoying as it might be, get the hang of fishing because you're going to need it for that community center, and don't sell your soul to Joe
Imagine
DeMar.
you not having any knowledge of Stardew Valley, getting this cryptic message from yourself in the future, like in a wormhole, like,
There will be a fun.
learn to love fishing.
Like the Flash in
used to.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Lightning.
I used to fish with my grandpa. I can buy one of those licenses. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have any context. Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be Stardew Valley related. Like, just you're gonna like Stardew Valley because I was very hesitant to even try it at first.
Right.
Maybe.
Don't marry Penny. She's mean.
I didn't marry Penny.
Oh, okay.
Maybe similarly, I would say like just go ahead and like don't sit on Titanfall 2 campaign. You're gonna like it more than you think.
You
Go
sat
ahead
on
and
that?
Yeah, for like a week.
You pervert.
Yeah.
Perv.
I printed out the code and just sat on it.
Dan, are you going to pull up everything I do is perfect? I would have no
No.
message for myself.
Hey, for one thing, everything I do is certainly not perfect.
Mm.
All right, not even close.
Amen to that.
But I don't have a message in a bottle I'd like to send myself.
Reiner, what message in the bottle are you checking?
It would be about managing your backlog, how to do that. Kind of along Kyle's lines, like just knock that baby out.
Yeah.
You know, like don't spend so much time in this game doing this side quest stuff. It's not going to go where you think it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to just really hold on to my car keys.
Kyle lost his car
Yeah,
keys.
poor Kyle.
I would also tell myself, quit going back to Paper Mario Color Splash because you're going to have the exact same frustrating emotions every time you pick up that game saying, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this.
You can do it.
I can't. For the future, Nick is wondering, take a lesson you learned from this year, not necessarily the one from the previous part, and apply that to the future. How has something you've learned this year, 2016, influenced your plans for 2017? Lesson from 2016 that you're applying towards 2017.
I don't know.
One for me is stop editing video at E3. I have notes for myself
Yeah.
every year saying stop editing video, do more live stream format. Not necessarily live streams, maybe we would do more of that. But that's one, is to shake up E3 coverage a little bit on the video angle.
Wait, are we talking about like gamer related or like
Anything
workflow
you want,
related?
brother.
Maybe like wait on new Overwatch characters. Like don't run home
What?
and play it as them immediately. Just give
That's
them like
bad
a week.
advice. Tell that Kyle to
I
stop.
don't know. I just jumped in on Sombra and I was so I now like a week later when not everyone's playing as Sombra, like I'm starting to get the hang of her a little better, and I
What's
feel like
the
I'm enjoying her
problem
more.
with trying it out right
Yeah,
away?
stop, Kyle.
I don't know. I'm
this is
just
bad advice, man.
stretching to try and figure something out
Woof.
to answer this question.
Ugh.
I will also not edit video at E3. That seems like a
You
bad
should
idea.
go back in
thing for
time
me
and
to
tell
do.
yourself to answer this question differently.
You can fix this in post, right? You can
Does
edit
anybody
this
have
at
any
E3?
good answers?
Well, mine's work related too, so I'm waiting for some of these guys to do something that's not just
No,
work.
keep it
I don't
work.
know.
Keep it
Work
work.
related
It's,
is fine.
I mean, you know, plans I have for replay. You know, it's like
Sure.
I'm always thinking about replay, what to do with it. So I don't want to spoil the surprises we have, but for like season 4 ideas. But
Name
that's
one surprise.
He just said he doesn't want to spoil.
I know.
That's why he asked him.
new intro.
Okay, there we go.
Whoa.
There we go.
Oh.
Wow.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
But yeah, I think about that show a lot. Like that's
Yeah.
my little baby. This is your baby, obviously. So it's just how can I make it fresh again? That's something.
Yeah. Dan Tack, are you perfect again?
This isn't a perfect. This is
Okay.
this is just a huge question that I don't have an
I
answer
know.
ready for.
All right, that's
I mean,
fine. Let's see. We have Chris from Canton, Ohio. He says, "Hey, GI crew, there's a crazy tradition in a village in the Andes. Those are mountains. in
Yeah,
South
my
America.
place.
Oh, mints.
Oh, I
Here's-
love those.
The
Yeah,
tradition's
they're great.
called,
Love
Kyle,
me.
could you read that?
Takanuki.
Thank you. Where the villagers gather in the town square on December 25th, and those with beefs to settle will fight one-on-one until somebody wins. At the end of the fight, the beef is settled no matter the outcome. If you had to fight somebody on the GI staff to settle a major beef from the past year, who would you fight, and what beef would be the reason for your choice?"
I got this
We've
one.
talked about this before. haven't
I
we?
got this one easy. I would fight Ben Hanson
Whoa.
because he welched on a bet that
Well,
we had about Rogue One.
Okay,
Here's-
let's
hear it.
Let's hear it.
Here's the situation, you guys. I'm looking for feedback on this. We talked about it in the bullpen, and people seem to be on my side. Here's how it went. I was very pessimistic about Rogue One. I was saying Rotten Tomatoes wise before it came out, I was like, it's going to be in the 70s, somewhere in that ballpark. Dan Tack's like, this is. Tell me if I'm mischaracterizing your argument. You're like, this is prime Disney. They needed to succeed. They're reshooting it. This thing is going to do well. There's no way it's going to get a low Rotten Tomatoes score.
Those weren't the exact words, but the sentiment is
pretty
sentiment,
close.
The
Pretty
sentiment,
close.
right? So the bet then was, okay, I think it's going to get lower than 85% on the Rotten Tomatoes score. Dan Tack's like, oh, it's definitely going to be higher than 85%. So
I said 85 or higher.
the way the bets work is I write down the terms of the bet and then we sign it so that no one can go back on it. Like these are the
You
terms.
even handshake.
Sure.
Sometimes.
What I wrote down was, I say it'll be south of 85%. Dan Tack says it'll be north of 85% on Rotten Tomatoes 1 week after its release. Lo and behold, 1 week after its release, it is exactly 85%.
That's a draw.
That would be if those were the terms. But, hey.
And those
those
were
are
the
the
terms
terms,
that
it
you
is a-
signed
it
your
is a
name
draw.
onto.
But those
That's a
weren't
draw.
the terms. It
But
was
if you
85 or
wrote
higher.
them down, I mean, you signed a contract.
He wrote the contract. It was like
Is your signature
But
on
the
it?
reason I write it down
Exactly.
is
What else?
there's
How
no
else would you define a
Yeah,
contract?
there's no misremembering how it was. And
I have
I'm sure we
witnesses.
talked about it, and there's who knows what the discussion exactly was. And ever if you said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if it's 85, though, I don't think that was brought up. I think it was just generally, it's going to be below 85. You said it's going to be north of 85. You might have thrown in 85 or higher once, but the way it was worded and what you signed, it said north of 85. It was not north of 85. So
Hey,
to be a gentleman, I said, okay, null and void bet. It's exactly 85. What a freak accident. But I will buy Dan a hot drink.
Why? Don't buy him anything.
Not a hot drink.
Because he's so butthurt about it.
I'm not.
I will say to
You
Dan's
just said that I welched on the bet.
You did.
to Dan's
You
don't
said
think
you were
so.
going to fight him.
That doesn't make me butthurt about it.
to
Yeah,
Dan's
again,
argument,
it
I
doesn't.
think like the bet, like if you really grind the bet down, it's like good review score versus bad review score, I guess, right?
Right.
And like 85 is a good review score, right?
But this is the reason why those are written out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
No,
whatever.
It was a contract, and Dan Tack, you just went from wanting to punch Dan Tack in the face to just being like, whatever.
You want
Punch
to
me in
punch
the
yourself
face.
in the
Punch my
face.
I was been very calm about it the whole time.
You just said you'd want to fight him.
Yeah, this is classic Takanuki.
Read the question again. Read the
Takanouki.
question.
It's
Major beefs. Dan's got a double beef patty over here, and then suddenly he's like, oh, it's no big deal.
You know, life
Never
is
frozen.
good when your major beef is with a Rogue One bet
Absolutely.
for like $5.
And a major beef with your best friend. But please write in. Who's right?
You know,
I'm right. I am right. It is
you-
a draw. You were right. It is
Of course
a
it's a
draw.
draw.
Also, you filter these emails. We don't see these emails,
That's
so
true,
you
we
can just
don't.
grab all the correct
We don't.
Hanson wins emails.
I don't know
That's
about
what's
that.
gonna
Everyone
happen.
write in, and I'll read exactly what
that's
gets
what's
brought
going to
in.
happen. You know that, right?
No BS. Anyways, Ben from Washington, D.C. Oh, hang on. Does anybody else have a beef?
Yeah.
I mean, can we top that? That's kind of
All right.
it.
Ben from Washington, D.C.
I'd fight
says...
Dan over just this topic.
Yeah.
Which is
So
a
we
big,
just started
a
one,
big
okay.
office-wide brawl where we all take sides.
Yeah, he's really welched on this concept of a beef feud.
I'd fight Elise because I think I could take her. I don't have a beef with her. I just want to win.
man.
Just tackle her from behind as
Yeah.
she's walking to get coffee. Ben from Washington, D.C. says, hey guys, big fan of the show. Thank you. Long-time listener. Thank you, etc. Notably, I've been a subscriber pretty consistently since the 1992 edition with Sonic and Knuckles on the cover. Wow.
Whoa.
This is
Wow.
amazing.
That's really.
Anyways, he says,
Is that a boner?
I booted up
That's not true.
Are you really a big fan?
Yeah, let me just readjust here.
I booted up my N64 recently to play with some fellow longtime gamers. We were playing Perfect Dark, and I noticed a skin that looked a lot like Reiner.
Oh, wow.
One of my compadres confirmed that this was indeed a likeness of the, quote, raging gamer himself. Question, is this a hoax, or was Reiner indeed a skin in Perfect Dark on N64?
Yeah, that is me. It's the celebrities are, if you want to call me a celebrity, come on.
No, we don't. No one wants to do that.
That's my beef. Now I want to fight you.
Yeah, let's go to Tanuki.
But no, it's me, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, the
So
trio.
Here's what happened. So we're at E3, and I'm going to meet with Rare over new technology they have for their new game, Perfect Dark. So I go there, and they're like, we're going to show you this new camera technology that we use to get characters into the game. Like, we don't have artists do it. We actually get people in the game, like a new kind of digitization.
Digitization.
It's
like Tron.
from way back in the day, but now we can actually get real people in here. And I was like, okay, cool. So they set up all this stuff and took my picture, and then I interviewed the guy about it, and he told me exactly what was going to happen with the process and all that. Went off, wrote an article for online at E3, and then that was it. I was like, okay, cool. That was neat. It's going to look pretty cool when this game comes out. And then the game comes in, and we're like playing multiplayer, and I was like, that looks like me.
Oh,
And
you
so-
narcissist. Come on.
So then I
Everyone's
wrote
like, no way.
Nintendo, and they're like, oh yeah, the thing you did at E3 was, the thing. I was like, I need to sign anything or
That's
anything
so
like that.
weird.
Yeah, but it was just a different time and place and all that, and
You're gonna live forever on an N64 cartridge, Reiner.
it's weird, isn't
And
it?
it's I just want to confirm: is your soul in fact trapped within the N64 cartridge
That's
because of
why
that
I'm
process?
such a horrible person. Yeah,
Originally, Perfect Dark was supposed to work with the Game Boy camera, and they were supposed to allow people to scan their own faces.
Yeah.
in. That was the original pitch.
Didn't work.
Reiner, mind blowing when I learned that, because I've been working here for like a year, and it's like learning that, your boss Steve from accounting is in one of your favorite games of all time. It's like, wait, what? Because I knew those faces so well. Because like, there's the Mulder, the Scully. Like me and my friends, we had nicknames for all those faces.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? That one goatee guy? That's my bot. That's insane.
it's weird. I don't know why we get in games like Dan Reichert was in L.A. Noir.
Yeah, that was a
Matt
weird one.
Helgeson in The Getaway. Andy and I are in 13. We're like walking David Duchovny down a
We should replay
hallway.
13 at some point. We've never done
Yeah.
that.
Dragon Force on Saturn. I'm a character in there.
Dragon
Talking about like
Force.
Street Fighter. I don't know why. Like Victor Ireland, the creator of, or the guy who ported the game over, kind of gave he gave me a thing, like an email. He was like, I just found you amusing, and I thought I'd put a gamer kind of character in here. And he's like, it's going to be you, Reiner. And I was like,
That's nice.
all right, whatever.
Weird. Just
I
to
was
point out,
Surprised
shut
to
up,
see
Reeves.
myself
Yeah.
in Uncharted 4.
Reeves, I was going to make a joke that you were the goat from Goat Simulator.
Oh,
I'm glad we're on
no.
the same page.
Oh.
We should point out, your face is not in the 360 port
No.
of Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
They also
so
don't
they-
allow face and body swapping in that one, so it's no good.
So they knew. I think
So
they got rid of Griffey and. Is Miyamoto still there?
No, like Peter Molyneux, a bunch of Microsoft people at the time are
Yeah.
in that one. That's an okay route to go, I
Yeah,
guess.
they got rid of all that.
Pretty good.
Anyways, hi Ben and crew from Paul Sanchez. I'm Paul Sanchez of Fresno, California, and I wanted to ask you a question about the Mario series. Yoshi's Island has a Super Mario World title in it, but do you consider it part of the series, or do you consider it the first Yoshi game? I think Yoshi's Cookie is technically.
I consider it part of the series.
It's 100% part of the series. I would go a step further than that. I'd say it's the best 2D Mario game.
It's
I'd agree with
close.
that.
That's a
I
little
mean,
extreme.
we have asked.
It's very good.
We've asked Miyamoto this. We've asked lots of other people. Are you going to go into this? Is
No,
this where you're smiling?
go for it.
And they've said that it's part of the Mario series. But I feel like, just the way it feels like it's distinct enough to be its own
So
series,
something-
which it
What is
later
it called?
became.
What's
What's
that?
the official title on it?
It's Yoshi's
It's-
Island Super Mario World 2.
Well,
This is-
no, it's Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So, would
It's
you
part of the
count
series.
what?
Yes.
What was Yarn Yoshi? What was that called again?
Yoshi's Woolly World.
So would that count as
No.
a Mario game?
No,
That's
if
Yoshi.
it was called Super Mario World 3, Yoshi's Woolly World, then
we-
yes. I mean, it's the classic Brian Vore argument. He was the big proponent. We did an entire Super Replay
Yeah.
where we just argued about it for 5 episodes.
I mean, Super Mario Brothers 2 is a part of the series.
right.
This is
100%.
the same thing.
Even though it's
It's
like
just such
mechanically
a,
different.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
such
yeah.
a
but
diversion.
Doki Doki Panic is not.
It's right out.
Right.
But I mean, it's like, because what is it? It's Super Mario Land 3
Wario
Land.
Land.
You know, this
You know what I mean? It's the exact same
Yeah.
thing.
this
And
makes
then-
me the ultimate hypocrite because I'm like, Final Fantasy 14, no, you don't put that in the numbered list.
Right.
But this is the exact same thing. So,
I mean, Nintendo they called it that. Like that they made that decision.
yeah,
a
so
long
did
time
Square.
ago.
So I'm going back on that. Tack, go ahead, throw that crap on the list.
They didn't call it that though because they were like, "This is definitely a Mario game." They were like, "This is going to sell better because it has."
We
Mario."
don't know why they did.
We've asked them that specifically, and
Yeah,
they
they're
can,
all liars.
They could say what they want retroactively, but they were at the time. He was like, "No, we considered it like a Mario platformer. It didn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
sales."
it's just a really creative
Is
Mario
what they've
platformer that succeeds so well in being creative and different that people are like, oh, certainly it can't fit in that canon. I say it does. Top of the heap. Alan
great.
Cooley writes in and says, hey, Ben and GI crew, what is wrong with Nintendo? The Wii U is on its
Right?
last fumes. The
There we
NES
go.
Classic, new 3DS are impossible to find. And Super Mario Run has had a lackluster reception. I don't know if that's true. Some people like it
They
a lot.
blew it
They
with
blew it.
Super Mario Run.
I think it was
blew it
just too
hard.
expensive.
And
blew it hard. Come on,
well,
guys.
okay, how many downloads?
That's a
90
point.
million?
Do we know
50.
that?
They blew it.
50 million?
Yeah.
Downloads, yes.
And actual sales, 3 million.
Do we
Why
know
did
that?
they give out? Yeah, I believe
it's
so.
still top grossing.
But why? Not anymore.
Yeah,
Pokemon's
It's on the list.
Well, it's in the top 10.
Right.
That's
But
They
still, $30
shouldn't have-
million out of the gate.
Yeah,
Nothing
but
to
they
sneeze
shouldn't
at
have gave
there.
out a demo. They should have just had people. So
I
many
do
people
agree
would
with
have
you.
bought it for
I do
10
agree
bucks.
with you on that. Yeah.
I'm
I
glad they-
really,
They threw away money.
I'm glad they let me have a demo, so I didn't buy it.
They're just hoping people would be more confident in what they played.
I really like that game. $10 is a little pricey for that game, but I love that model, and I much rather spend $10 on a singular mobile experience. And I
Right.
hope that
Me too.
the negative, because there are a lot of negative reviews that just straight up don't understand that it's not a microtransaction. They're
Right.
like, I got to pay $10 for 5 more levels. It's like, no, you pay $10 for the rest of the game.
I don't think people are upset with the price. It's what you get for it. I don't think people are upset that it's not a microtransaction.
I think
game.
they are. I think
The-
they
the
are. I
people-
don't think
the
those reviews
the
are
reviews
saying
think
that.
it's a microtransaction.
The people that say, I will never pay for a mobile game, that's a different case than saying, this isn't what I'm looking for $10 on a mobile experience. These are two different ships, so they're in the same ocean, but I don't think they're
passing in the night.
Yeah, I think so. I don't.
I think it's interesting to see Nintendo getting experimental, trying different things. I mean, Nintendo is famous for coming at things in a slightly different way that can be frustrating to a certain segment of the market. I think it's fascinating to see that same approach now interacting with the App Store
Yeah.
and just seeing that entire community be like, what the hell are you doing, Nintendo?
I like that they approach it in a different way and try different things.
Yeah.
And, they're not going to hit it out of the park every time, but at least they're experimenting.
I'd be surprised if they do this style again.
Yeah, I don't think they
Yeah.
would.
So my ultimate dream was Nintendo funneling all of their development efforts into one system, opposed to having it on 3DS and console, right? Handheld and console.
Sure.
Having all that go into one that bridges both gaps. The Switch is going to give you console gaming and handheld gaming. Awesome. But then you have this mobile thing now, the phone thing where it's like, what developers are now doing phone stuff?
Well,
are we
isn't
going to
it
have
just DNA?
this fractured ecosystem of Nintendo games again where we're never going to have them all on one? Are
I
they
don't
going,
think so.
Because they have Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
Fire Emblem announced
Mm-hmm.
and coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the tip of the iceberg now that these games have been
They
successful.
might have third-party people working on
They
this.
do. I mean, DNA is actually developing the game. I don't think they're pulling off Alpha Dream or some
That's
talented
my
studio
concern
to-
though, is
Is that they
there's-
will
yeah,
go over there because
you're
it's such
always
a
gonna
profitable
have
sector.
these two pools, and there might be a great phone game that comes out, and again, you're going to be talking about oh man, if they do a Pokemon on console, that kind of thing. I'm concerned about that. I thought
interesting.
we had the promised land in front of us, and now there's still two camps.
splitting.
I don't know. We'll see.
So
I can't
his-
wait to see Box Boy on the Switch, though.
His question, you guys, his question here. He just mentioned the word Super Mario Run. Do you
it's
think
not.
any of this has to do with the new Nintendo president, who I know very little about, or is this just Nintendo being Nintendo and sabotaging themselves when they could be gaining some momentum? What do you think about this trend of Nintendo in the last year? Does it signify worse things, or is it just a weird anomaly with the new president?
I think a lot of stuff that's still happening now, even with the Switch, has probably started when Iwata was still president.
Totally.
So I don't think we've seen a whole lot of what the new president's doing
Yeah,
yet.
leave that grumpy guy alone.
Well, I don't know much about him either. I'm interested to see this E3.
Remember when he was in our E3 tour?
Was he really?
Yeah, we filmed him walking into the Nintendo booth. Remember? And
Oh, that's
Jeff
right.
Cork made fun of him.
He looked super happy.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think we can blame it all on the new guy. Or
No,
anything.
totally.
Also,
not.
I mean, it's
Also, I don't know if there's that much to blame.
Is there anything to
Like,
blame? I mean, they're doing things that people have wanted them to do for a
Yeah.
while. They're going into the mobile space. They're bringing their console and mobile together. They're the Switch doesn't have motion control or anything like that. It's it
Yeah.
seems like a more specific kind of typical console, and maybe
Right.
that's a result of the new guy. Who
I
knows?
like that they basically let Wii U die. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but
Yeah.
it's not having games all the way up till now. That means their developers are probably working on Switch.
Hope so.
I've heard things like teams have been working on games for 2 years, and it's good. Maybe this launch lineup won't be a typical launch lineup of just experimenting and
yeah.
short
We'll see.
experiences,
Yeah.
proof of concept stuff.
And it's easy to really bag on him, I think, looking at where the Wii U shortened life cycle is compared to Xbox One and PS4. So people are saying those consoles are really in their prime now. They're going strong. This is the tail end. The tail end of every generation, it's scraps for a while before we get, showered with gifts with the Nintendo Switch launch or just games reveal that's coming up soon. So it's tough to directly compare it, but yeah, of course it's going to be sad at the end of the Wii U's life,
Yeah.
but it's just
But
it's
They made the right
fall.
call, right? They made the right call because
That's right.
third party were gone, and Nintendo's first party is always strong, but they need a
not
stronger
enough.
platform. Yeah,
Yeah.
they need it all.
It springs on the way. Winter's almost over in the world of Nintendo game releases. Dan, you were shaking your head violently that entire time.
No, I really wasn't. I mean, it's
You really were, actually. I was watching you. It was
You're
very
whispering
distracting.
PC Master Race.
What's in
just-
your
I just-
mind?
I just want. I really like Nintendo, and I'd like to see them be good again, be really good. Again.
And you don't think they will be?
I have to be skeptical at this point.
What's
Sure.
the last
Why?
Nintendo system you owned?
The Wii, the regular Wii.
What was your favorite game on the regular Wii?
Well, besides Wii Sports,
Really?
Don't act like there's not a fantastic library of games on
I
the Wii.
loved Wii Sports. I'm being serious. That was
Okay.
my favorite.
All right.
game.
What do you
All
like?
right.
Other than Wii Sports?
Other than that, it was you guys are not gonna like. It was the Dragon Quest sword fighting game.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
That weird dungeon
Heroes?
crawler
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Dragon Quest Heroes, right?
No.
Wasn't it
On the
Heroes?
Wii? No. It was
Wait,
the one where
is
you-
it like Joker?
It was the one where you.
No,
would
What was
actually-
that movie again?
I think it was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was called Heroes, which is confusing because now there's another Dragon
Yeah.
Quest Heroes.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
it's
think they're
called
both
that,
called
but it
Heroes.
was basically like Red Steel somewhat with Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Did you play Mario Galaxy or
He doesn't like 3D
Zeldas
Mario.
or-
It's
I don't.
a
I don't
long
like.
story.
I
It's a
don't like
long
3D
story.
Mario.
It's a whole
Hanson loves to bring it up because he knows I'll get crap for it. So
Well, look, I don't like 2D Mario, so look,
Okay.
to each their own.
Except for
But
Yoshi.
well, clearly the one shining example. But we should point out January 12th they are unveiling
Yep.
the Switch's lineup.
Yeah, and there's 2 events, by the way. There's
Is that right?
a Japanese press conference, right?
There's a
and,
stream, like a live
and
stream.
then an American
direct,
one, the
I
next
guess.
day.
So stay tuned to GameInformer.com.
Yeah, Rainer, is there anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to say about that?
Yeah, we're covering the hell out of it.
That's right.
Live coverage, all the details, GameInformer.com.
And people will be on site.
Yeah, we will have Ben Hanson.
Thank you. Okay.
He just wanted you to say his name.
He did.
I'm desperate.
We're sending every Ben we know.
That's right.
Right.
Every Ben
And
in the
Ben
South
Reeves.
will be there.
Yeah, we're
Kyle
gonna be there
Benjamin Hilliard.
live. So if you're watching, look for the 2 guys that look a little confused, wondering
And the
what's
one
going
goofy
on.
looking guy.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to be there, and hopefully we get hands on with the Switch. So it should be exciting.
Yeah, and man, what a weird! It comes out March.
right.
Yeah.
And Mass Effect was
Also
just
Mass
announced
Effect.
as March
March.
21st.
Also, isn't there another March thing?
Is Mass Effect coming to Switch, you think?
No,
good
they said
question.
it.
We'll find
They
out.
said it's not.
They said
Well, we'll
no,
find
right?
out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll be surprised.
Hey, there's a lot of fake Nintendo rumors going around.
Hey.
I'm starting my own. We'll find out.
Mass
Start.
Effect on
Hey,
Switch.
that's right. You might as well.
Prove
Everybody's
me
doing
wrong. Burden of proof is on you. Sean from Seattle, Washington, is just wondering, you guys, is Half-Life 3 ever going to come out?
it. No.
Yes. Yes, someday.
No.
I bet
No.
a new Half-Life game and concept will be released
Some-
eventually. There is no world where it's going to be called Half-Life 3.
I bet it'll be fan made.
It's just not happening. Okay.
Some guy,
Period.
some young dude is going to be hired at Valve, and he's going to grab those reins, and everyone's going to laugh him off, and then it's going to be like a Rudy story where he finally gets development completed on
This
Half-Life
is
3.
not going to happen.
The lead designer of Half-Life
Have you
3
seen
is still in
Rudy?
diapers.
Yeah, he plays a single game,
He
and
gets tackled or
yeah.
he gets
So we're
knocked
gonna
out.
we're gonna get one level of Half-Life 3.
So you're looking for like a Mr. Smith goes to Washington style filibuster of a new 21-year-old being hired at Valve and then saying, hear ye, move ye mobile desks this way.
Yes.
We're developing it yonder.
Yeah, they're like 30% done right now, and they've lost all steam on no pun intended, lost all
Whoa.
steam on making the game. And this guy's
Uh-huh.
gonna come in and he's gonna be like, guys, we gotta finish Half-Life. I can't do it good.
And Gabe's just like, oh, what are we going to do? We need some new energy. And then this young Jimmy Stewart type
yeah,
figure.
you could do your Jimmy Stewart starting up.
Oh, Half-Life 3. That's just turning
If-
into Nicolas Cage.
If every developer and publisher left Steam and did their own services and Valve was
And they
left
were
with
successful.
no service,
Uh-huh.
They might have to make a game.
they
again.
might have to make a game again.
It's like, it's nothing but Android ports. We have to do
Okay,
something.
So
Hire a
so
21-year-old.
everyone stop buying Steam games.
Available only on
Right?
Linux.
Don't
Right.
don't partake in the sales. Just don't buy any more Steam games. So Valve is forced to make Half-Life 3.
There you
Foolproof
go.
plan.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Dan Tack,
Teamwork.
the next game released with the words Half-Life in it.
Sure.
What year is that going to be?
You mean a Valve? This is a Valve
Yes,
product, so
yes.
not something a mod somebody made.
Maybe it's an outside developer, but Valve sanctioned, right?
Valve sanctioned.
Yeah, Valve sanctioned.
Probably this year. Probably this year, maybe.
2017.
Yeah, just if you said Valve sanctioned, so that
Whoa,
can happen after
what?
the fact. So it'll be like
After the fact.
Half-Life stories. It'll be some developers loved, especially like small indie guys. They love to get
Right.
cut their teeth
Well,
on a Valve.
Now that we've given people
On a
the
Half-Life
idea,
experience.
yeah.
Do you guys
The
remember?
problem, you're implying like it's an actual Half-Life game from Valve.
Okay, I'm
never.
not-
No.
You're saying something like Black Mesa is going to happen.
Yes. Yeah. That
Okay,
happens
that's
all
probably
the
a safe
time.
bet.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? There's a game called Renegade Ops that Avalanche created, the creators of Just Cause, and one of the characters in the Steam version of it is Gordon Freeman. You can like drive around with head crabs and stuff in this little car. It's just this weird.
Oh, yeah.
Valve licenses their properties out more than you realize.
They're like
It's really
Stephen
bizarre.
King.
That's what I'm
It's gonna
saying. I'm
send
saying
$1.
someone will make something that gets the
Yeah.
stamp.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a point where Gabe and co are like, you know what? let's just let other people make our games.
I
for
think
us.
that happened 7 years ago.
They tried to do that for episode 3 and it all fell through.
Well, yeah, there's
the Arcane.
Arcane was
episode
trying,
4.
but I think like legitimate, like we got to get these stuff.
I think they thought about that a long time and they've hit dead ends along that way. But
I think they're super picky, is what I would guess, and so maybe there's been a few prototypes out there that they've just been like,
I bet. I was thinking about this the other day. How many like fun game prototypes are sitting in game vaults? Like think of like Blizzard. Is there okay, I was thinking about this specifically in Overwatch, like looking at the dumb little arcade games they have in Hanamura. But like, do you think there is a Blizzard fighting game that's
I'm sure they've tried it. Absolutely.
And somewhere something's playable that's a Blizzard fighting game.
Sure.
What do you think there's a Blizzard rhythm game somewhere on some server that someone was prototyping?
Absolutely.
Do you think every genre?
Yeah, I probably do. I'm sure.
That's so crazy to
All right,
think
I'm
about.
going to reveal something here.
Oh Lord.
I was actually chasing a story on Half-Life 3, trying to
hot
figure
scoop.
out what happened.
There we go.
You and what army?
And I'm not making this up, by the way. You guys know this. Here's a screenshot. But I talked to one developer who actually gave me legitimate information there and told me it was a hot mess. Like there's so many different prototypes that were small teams, 4 or 5 people working on them that just never got off the ground, but said 2 of the directions they were going in. I kid you not. This is a real thing that apparently happened. One was going to be like an RTS game for Half-Life 3 or Episode 3, whatever they're going to call it. It was going to change the script. Another one involved live actors, and it was going to be like a new type of kind of adventure action game with actual actors, kind of like Night Trap, but far advanced. They were actually working. Apparently, they were working on these things.
But do you know what level of working on it is?
Again, it was like 4 or 5 people.
Okay.
And they were going to call it Attack of the Clones.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But the first thing he told me, like when I was talking on the phone, it was like, "You're chasing unicorns. Like these, like this is good luck." And I tried. I reached out to like 10 to 15 people that have left the company to try to get info, and they just do not want to talk about it. Like had people that were working on, actually working on Episode 3, did interviews in the past about Episode 3 when it was a thing, did not want to talk about it at all.
There's some sort of gag order going on there. You think
Yeah,
someone
Google
would
has
squeal
some
at some
pictures of
point?
people, some shitty pictures of all of his employees.
It just ended up being dead end after dead end after
Right.
dead end for this story, and
And
it's
that's
like,
the reason the story's not out there.
yeah, I was so excited when I got one, and it was like, this is crazy town.
Mhm.
But maybe I'll release that interview at some point.
I think that's a good idea. Ton Win says, "Hey GI guys, I was recently using the VR gear to watch some Netflix shows, and something really dumb occurred to me. This is something that I've never thought of, and I really appreciated this." He says, 3D movies could work better in VR because the image could actually come out of the screen, albeit virtually. What do you guys think about that? Watching 3D movies in VR. Is anybody doing that? I would like to do that.
They're not
Enjoy.
already. I just assumed
I
they
don't know.
were.
I assume they are. I think
don't
that'd be
know.
cool.
Why
I
stop
wonder how
there?
they'd have to do it differently. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, would you have to, if the screen's here and you turn your head and the screen doesn't move,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you'd have to render it fully.
Can
right?
they add that blur effect?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what's really missing.
And then
that,
port 3D land to it.
that could be really cool, but I don't know why stop there. Like, did you ever watch Henry in VR?
Mhm.
The
No, I
little
didn't
animated
actually.
short. Like, I think that's cooler, where you're actually like sitting in the environment and like a bunch of stuff's happening around you, and you can look wherever you want.
Yeah.
But that is a whole new filming technique.
Yeah, that's completely different, obviously.
But I wonder what it would take to really adapt existing 3D movies to make them pop more
Seems
in,
like it wouldn't take that much, right? I mean, because there's already.
or would it
it's
just look
It's basically
even
3D,
faker than it does.
we know
3D
a lot
movies
about
are-
programming.
or
It wouldn't
shot.
take
It's
much.
just like dual images, right? And then we have those, and it's just a matter of separating them for the 3D headsets. It seems like are people already doing it? That's how it works. That you just slide
I
them apart.
assume someone's doing it. I just don't know why I haven't thought about
Why?
this more.
Yeah, like
Yes.
why isn't like there's because like Steam still sells media now. Like why can't
Right.
I just buy the 3D version of Gravity to watch on Vive?
Here's
right?
another idea we gave everyone: 3D movies in VR.
They're gonna be huge.
Finally, some people are
Man.
going to put some money in the VR.
They're going to
market.
be huge.
Hunter Clement says, "Hello, my favorite podcast on the Citadel. Hello. In the last GI show, the interns discussed some writing techniques that stuck with them from their time at the magazine. Would you guys mind sharing some more personal writing rules or tips? As a blogger, your advice is appreciated. What do you guys have?
The word "that" is often unnecessary.
What does that mean?
You can just usually take that out.
Very nice.
The word "very" should never be used.
Intensifiers. That you always see that with new recruits. They want to emphasize words, but you don't need it. If you say something cool is cool, you don't need "very" in front of it. It is cool.
Yep.
If it ends in a Y, it can go pretty often.
The word
Hyphenating with Y, you see that every once in a while.
Yeah.
The word will.
Highly addictive game.
What is the will thing? Guardians of the Will?
You can kill will.
Right.
Just get rid of will. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, you don't need the word will.
I have because I just have like a little what's a sticky note on my monitor that's like that will it is it's, and I just search for those to try to cut those kind of words out.
Starting sentences with dead construction.
What does that mean?
Right.
That, like you want you have better ways to lead a sentence.
Right. Passive voice
There.
kind of thing. Like it
Yeah.
took me a long time to get my head around passive voice, and just go look up passive voice and dead construction. Those are very important.
Dead construction, by the way, should point out is what you hear occasionally in the background of this podcast, which
That's
hopefully
right.
should be over.
We hope-
Murdering a
it's dead.
building back
Yeah.
there.
Tom Francis, who used to work, God, where is he? Eurogamer? Where was Tom Francis? Anyways, but he went on to make Gunpoint and games like that.
Oh, yeah.
But he
Okay.
posted this really great blog at his where he just kind of recapped like, hey, all my times in Games Press, here's some key lessons I learned. And I refer back to that every once in a while. I don't write often, but I appreciate it. One of his rules was just like, speak clearly. And it's a dumb, simple rule, but just you find yourself getting so tangled up in this prose, writing this stuff. And then if you just look at it and just take a very Hemingway-like approach, like, what am I actually trying to say here? Like, why am I being so flowery? Like, just get to the point. Let's just roll with this, everybody.
Is that what Hemingway did? He was famous for?
Yeah, it's getting to the point.
Get to the
He wrote
point.
for EGM for a long time.
Yeah. Big fan of
He's
GTA.
the model in GamePro of the head exploding. That was actually Hemingway posing for
Oh
that
my
photo.
gosh.
Yeah, the old man in the C-.
Oh god.
For all aspiring writers,
go,
by the way. There's an awesome book. I know it's fiction based, but Stephen King wrote one. I believe it's called On Writing.
It is, and it's
And
excellent.
It is fantastic. He's one of the most accomplished authors, but you could see what his early drafts look like, and he's no different than anyone else.
Except for chapter 11, where he says, always blow your ending. You can skip that chapter. I think.
Always go down on your ending.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Martha.
Speaking of
We
writing
gotta
tips,
get rid of that.
Too
Wow.
saucy for me. See ya.
Hayden Muse from Seattle, Washington. A lot of Seattle boys. How do you guys decide what non-gaming news makes the website, such as celebrity deaths or how a big movie is doing in the box office? I like you for the games, baby. Love the show and all you do. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what that gaming culture category is for.
Yeah,
right?
how does
Like,
stuff get pushed through the filter? What do we cover on the site that's not games? How do we determine what that is?
It's so, like we've always done, if you go all the way back to when we started doing Timeline of the magazine, it was a way to get other types of entertainment that relate to games into the magazine, just so people would feel like they got more entertainment than just games, right? It was a one page dedicated to all that. That stuff transitions really nicely to online and just letting people know, hey, there's a new Iron Man coming out.
yeah.
It takes us no time to do those stories. We just want to get that news in front of you. We're not trying to turn into Entertainment Informer. We just think it's a nice connection to video games. And it's,
Yeah.
I think if you draw that Venn diagram of video games and like Star Wars, there's a lot of crossover there, obviously, or video games and comics. Like there's a lot of crossover there. So it's like, oh, that makes sense for us to cover this stuff because people who like video games probably want to know about
And
the
it's a
new
growing
Marvel
trend. I
Comics
mean,
movie.
through so many sites. I think it's fair to say, like, look at what people are actually clicking on. People like looking at analytics, and people enjoy clicking on these stories. Like, it's tough to fight it, but I understand people who are frustrated with just cover the games, everybody.
Yeah, and we have other interests here too, where writers think they can contribute something to board games. Matt
Right.
Miller or me with Star Wars or sci-fi, and it all ties back into games. We try to tie it into games, and I don't know. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it adds dimensions to the writers and our coverage.
It is a good question mark too, though, because like I don't think we ever covered Harry Potter stuff very often, or like Hunger Games stuff. Like I don't know.
That goes into
Like,
the
should we
interest.
have,
That goes into
like-
the big interest of us, though. Like Hunger Games, especially. I don't think anyone on staff is like diehard.
I'm super
midnight.
big into it.
That doesn't surprise me now.
Funny jokes, baby.
You're hungry for games.
But yeah, it's just a matter of picking our battles. And
Yeah. Next question is for Kyle. Has he seen the new One Piece movie? Thanks. The podcast is the best thing that has ever happened to iTunes. Also, I appreciate that obscure thing that you did that one time that did not get enough views.
So the question is, have I seen the One Piece? The new One Piece?
Yeah, this is
movie?
it. Actually,
The
it doesn't say
gold
who
one?
sent this email
No,
into
it doesn't?
podcast again.
Oh.
There's no identification. on it.
I heard it was a real piece.
I've seen it. Yeah, I have seen it. That's funny how specific that email was, and I like that they also like that obscure thing.
Was
that
it
you
from
did.
your wife?
Kyle, You've seen the new One Piece movie. What do you think about the new One Piece movie? It's an anime.
It's cool. It's coming out soonish in theaters, actually. Okay. And I watched a screener.
How did you see it?
I got a screener of it because I'm special, and it's kind of like a heist movie. It's like an Ocean's 11.
Is it worth talking about in any capacity?
It's cool. If you like One Piece, you should watch it.
Is it as good as the Dragon Ball movies, the last couple?
I see where this is going.
I think so.
It's on that caliber?
Yeah, like just a great movie with characters that you like.
Did they get the One Piece?
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
You just put together date night for Ben
What
Hanson.
is One Piece? That's
the whole
give
point,
me the
right?
Quick, like 3-sentence recap.
There was
of what
the
that's
Pirate
about.
King, and he put all his treasure somewhere, and he announced that as he was getting his head chopped off.
Is that literally head chopped off?
Yes.
That's
he was
cool.
getting killed, and he's like, if you can find the One Piece,
Right.
you will be the pirate captain. The One Piece is like the ultimate treasure. Like the previous pirate captain gathered all his treasure in one place, and everyone's trying to find it.
This
So it's
is
like the
Uncharted
Pirates
4.
movie.
They've been looking for about 9. How many episodes of One Piece are there? How long have they been looking? 900
There's
something episodes?
250,651 episodes. I don't know if that's actually. There's a lot of
so
those episodes.
This is like Dragon Ball Z if they never
Yeah.
found the Dragon Balls.
Right.
Pretty much.
Instead of just finding it every third episode.
The funny thing
Hi,
is, like,
Shenron.
especially this movie in particular, like they're on in like an island-sized ship that's made of gold, and it's like there's no way that the One Piece has more gold than the ship that they're on.
Just
in
take
this
that
movie.
ship.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe that's what happens. In the
What?
Whoa.
It's a cool movie. I enjoyed it.
All
Maybe
right.
the
I
One
wanna-
Piece is
guys,
in our hearts.
I sent that email because I thought it was a fun movie, and I wanted
I
to
do.
mention it.
That's why I had no identification.
Cool stuff. You guys are also welcome to rig the system and send stuff in if you like to podcast@gameformer.com. People on this table, people listening. Anyways, hello GI crew, says Derek from Minnesota. I'm a 30-ish old man who enjoys playing games with my friends. My problem is that I now live in sunny St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and they all live elsewhere. We are getting old and married, and they all want to feed their children instead of make hamburgers and overcooked.
Lame.
How does a normal guy meet other normal guys to game with in this area?
I mean, online gaming is, I guess, I mean, if he's talking about local play,
I think he
can't
wants
help him.
local play.
You could make
Dark
like
alleys.
The core of the question is, how do you make friends in your 30s?
You could make a flyer that looks like a
There
bicep.
are books
maybe.
written about that. subject.
Craigslist.
I like where Reeves.
I would not advise Reiner's advice to go to Craigslist to find
Or dark
gaming
alleys.
partners.
I love the Craigslist people though that are like friends only, friendship only, because you know they're getting swarmed with like, show me your butt. Like, it's just nonstop.
But
I don't know, you could go to local conventions or
Right.
other things like that, or local board game nights at like.
Oh,
we have
that's huge.
That's
Fantasy
actual
Flight
real
thing.
advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
Fantasy
like
Flight.
comic book stores,
Or
usually
the
have,
Source
right.
is another comic book shop that has those.
They have the speed running Summer Games Done Quick is in St. Paul now. At least it has been the last couple of years. That's a great place. Go there. They have like Smash set up. If you only like video games and not board games, I mean, there's certain conventions, places, and then reach out and get people's Facebook info and spam them on Facebook saying, "Let's hang out."
So our answer is move to Minnesota.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm going to give you who's asking this
This is
question?
Derek.
From
Derek?
Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
St. Louis
giving
Park.
you thousands of friends right now.
Oh God.
Go
Here
to
we go.
the. I watched the entire Overblood Super Replay
Facebook group.
on Facebook. An amazing group of people.
Mhm.
They have bonded together. They come to Minnesota for GlitchCon. A big convoy of them. Seriously, every one of them. Great people.
Mhm.
And I became immediate friends with them. And it seems like they open their arms to anyone. Check it out.
I bet they like Overcooked as well.
I bet so.
But you
Dan-
will find lots of gamers there. That's
Dan,
all they do.
You moved to Minneapolis years ago.
Yeah.
What's it like trying to make friends
Well,
in
for
a new
local-
town?
I mean, I just, everyone's my friend. But
Oh God.
you got like for his specific situation, I recommend, like you said, go to hobby shops and stuff like that. Go to the Friday Night Magic kind of stuff. There are going to be people there who are also interested in games. And if you want to do, I'm not big on local play myself, so this is an interesting. I've always been online, so
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just because of Diablo 2 and StarCraft and all this stuff, like moving from the LAN to a strictly online thing after I moved away from the people I had LAN with.
Yeah.
We still play very easily all the time. So
What do you guys like for question of the week?
I like the
That's
One
tough.
Piece
The
question.
One Piece one was
Yeah, that was
excellent.
good.
Yeah,
we
that
don't
was
have a name
pretty
on
good.
that one.
I wonder who sent that in.
Kyle's wife sent it.
The resolutions.
I also like the franchise we want to see become video game. Question.
Yeah.
That was
We
pretty
kind of
good.
blew the answer on the resolutions.
I,
Yeah, we
I
did.
feel like we did. I actually
Still a
I
good
like
question though.
I like the Nintendo one, and this
Yeah.
is dorky, but I like the Half-Life 3 one.
What
It's so
don't like-
cliche, but
come
I
on.
like that. Just I did not expect it in the
Questions
inbox.
every day.
I didn't expect it in the inbox.
What I don't like about that Nintendo question is like so many people like, oh, what's wrong with Nintendo? It's like you can say that about everything. Like,
You
I'm just
can.
tired of that complaint.
I'm also tired of like being said like we don't give Nintendo a fair shake.
Or
We're
what's
we're
wrong with
anti-Nintendo.
Sony?
It's
What's
the most
wrong
ridiculous
with
thing
blah?
ever.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, hot shots.
what's
Um,
wrong
we
with
have arrived
Game
at no-
Informer?
I like the One Piece one for Kyle.
I like Nintendo.
You
Sure,
like Nintendo?
let's go with the
No?
Nintendo one.
Nintendo was very deep dive. We
Sure.
embraced it. We
I
loved
agree.
it.
I agree. Alan Cooley, we're gonna ship you out something
And he's
real
cool!
nice. Thank you so much.
We'll embrace the hate.
We love you. We love Nintendo,
We do.
and we think we're all really excited about the Switch event. We're gonna
You
we're gonna have some
cannot
hot impressions
be
from the podcast.
excited about. If you're not excited about new hardware in the video game space,
Get out.
Get a new hobby.
I'm excited.
Get
to
out.
get
Go
some-
hang out with Derek in St. Louis Park.
Let's go get
Wow.
some New York
He needs a
pizza.
friend.
That's true.
Everyone go to Derek's
He needs
house.
a couple to play
Right
Overcooked.
now.
That's true. All right, that's it for this episode of the Game Informer Show. We're wrapping up early, even though it's still a long episode. So be sure to write into podcast@gameinformer.com. Thoughts, words of wisdom, things you want us to talk about, news stories that you want to hear more about, anything like that. Let us know what you think. That's at
One Piece.
podcastinginformer.com. One
Yeah,
Piece.
animes
thoughts,
Hanson can
aboard.
watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring along
And then
all
stay
your
tuned.
hopes
We're going to have a new
and
episode coming up on Thursday. But thank you so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.